You bidding at the Good Feet store.
Call 552-FEET or visit us in Naples or our newest store in Fort Myers.
The new administration has big plans for healthcare. Changes are coming that could limit your choice and make your health insurance premiums even higher. Tim Cooper at Health Plan Network recently saved a family of 4 in the Fort Myers area $600 per month. Act now. Protect yourself and your family with a superior health plan that cannot be canceled. This is a nationwide PPO plan, which allows you to pick your doctors and hospital. Start saving 30 to 60% now. If you are on Obamacare, not insured, or on COBRA, you can log into a private health plan managed by you, not the government. Call Tim Cooper, an expert with 24 years experience, at 239-368-6712. That's 239-368-6712. Online at healthplannetwork.net. That's healthplannetwork.net.
92.5 WFSX Estero. It's 6 o'clock on Southwest Florida's news and talk station, 92.5 Fox News.
Unmasking new guidance. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. We might get an update as soon as today.
Multiple reports say President Biden's going to be unveiling new guidance from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention about wearing face masks. Nothing's finalized yet, but that guidance is expected to ease recommendations about Americans wearing masks outdoors. Currently, the CDC recommends masks be worn in all public settings.
Fox's Jill Nato. Several states already lifted mask mandates. A new Fox poll shows 22% of Americans do not plan to get a COVID vaccine shot, but about 141 million people have already gotten at least one dose. Also in the poll, 62% of those surveyed do not support defunding the police. But in North Carolina, more anger over last week's deadly shooting that left a black man dead and some sheriff's deputies on leave in Elizabeth City, which is under a state of emergency.
Protesters chanted, "Release the tape," the whole tape. This after Andrew Brown Jr.'s family and lawyers said they were only shown 20 seconds of footage, but they said what they did see proved Brown was, quote, executed.
Fox's Jackie Ibanez. Sheriff Tommy Wooten needs court approval to make the body cam footage public.
This tragic incident was quick and over in less than 30 seconds, and body cameras are shaky and sometimes hard to decipher.
North Carolina's Democratic Governor Roy Cooper says too many people of color are being harmed lately.
We must face head-on the stark reality of systemic racism.
Republicans in California are a step closer to forcing a recall election for Democratic Governor Gavin Newsom, in part over his COVID restrictions, with more than enough petition signatures verified.
Newsom's anti-recall campaign released a statement Monday saying, quote, "The Republican recall, backed by partisan pro-Trump and far-right forces, threatens our values as Californians."
Ashley Zavala with Fox 40 TV. America's listening to Fox News.
This update is presented by Johnston Spinal Care, the leader in spinal decompression. Find them online at 596back.com.
Wink News traffic.
Traffic is slowing down this morning in Lehigh Acres on Sunshine southbound towards State Road 82. Also a delay in Fort Myers on Iona. We're bumper to bumper west of McGregor Boulevard for 1 mile. Cape Coral commuters, southbound delays are beginning on Surfside south of Trafalgar towards Veterans, but we're still up to speed on Chiquita if you want the alternate. That's your up-to-the-minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Happy Tuesday, Southwest Florida. We are starting off once again on the cooler and drier side with most of you in the 60s. Temperatures will soar to the upper 80s and lower 90s again this afternoon, but at least with that low humidity, it won't be a terrible day to get outside. Partly cloudy sky, and our next big change doesn't come till later on this week with our next opportunity for rain. I'm Wink News Weather Authority meteorologist Brittany Van Voorhees.
Plug into the power. 92.5 Fox News. Right. All along.
You probably know Lusk, Dre Sites, and Talisano for car accidents and other personal injury matters. But did you know they have attorneys who specialize in many other areas of the law? Whether you're in need of creating or updating your will and testament, or need advice about divorce or child custody, they have an attorney for you. And unlike the all-too-familiar competitors, at Lusk, Dre Sites, and Talisano, you'll be meeting directly with the attorney handling your matter, not some coordinator or case manager looking to increase their numbers. Lusk, Dre Sites, and Talisano. They've been serving you for over 35 years. Have a family law question? Are you seeking a divorce or have child custody issues you need resolved? Do you need assistance with dividing property? At Lusk, Dre Sites, and Talisano, their attorneys can walk you through this difficult process as the needed advocate to protect your legal rights. They've been here for you in the past, they're here today, and will be here for you tomorrow. LDTlaw.com. Offices Cape Coral, Fort Myers, Naples.
What makes Genesis of Naples the #1 selling Genesis dealer in the nation? It's our incredible selection and professional sales staff. Hi, I'm Sheila Zellers, owner of Genesis of Naples. When I drive my beautiful new 2021 Genesis GV80 around town, the first thing everyone says to me is, "What is that beautiful SUV?" I tell them it's the all-new first ever SUV from Genesis. Then they usually ask, "How much does it cost?" I know it's hard to believe, but it starts at just $49,500 and the fully equipped Prestige for just over $70,000. It has an amazing interior and breathtaking design and your choice of turbo engines in rear and all-wheel drive. But that's not all. New 2021 Genesis G70s have 0% financing and 72 months plus $1,000 cash back. And we have a huge selection of the all-new 2021 Genesis G80s and G90s. Come visit Genesis of Naples on Airport Road or genesisofnaples.com.
All offers with approved credit on select models based on January 2021 retail sales. 72 months of $0 per month per 1,000 finance. No down payment required.
Plantation Shutters for You is your best choice for plantation shutters. Custom measured and installed just for you. Call today for a free consultation. Discount to military, first responders, and Biden voters who wish they voted for Trump now, as well as Trump voters. PlantationShuttersForYou.com.
Hey, it's Jake DeMolino here from Daybreak to talk about AMCO of Bonita Springs. Everyone's been affected by the pandemic, and I was definitely no exception. But here's the thing. I had an issue, a well-known issue, a lot of you know about. Kevin and Todd came to the rescue, effectively giving me my life back. They put their expertise to work on my transmission. That was completely shot. His master mechanic told me that it was probably the worst transmission he's seen in his 30 years of working. And let me tell you, he knocked it out of the park. He helped me, and I'm sure he can help you as well. AMCO of Bonita Springs has been trusted in Southwest Florida since 2008. They've been through pandemics, recessions, you name it. They're located right off of Burnwood Drive in Bonita, an independent, conservative AMCO dealer whose award-winning customer service speaks for itself. They work on all makes and models, and they don't just do transmissions. They can do oil changes, normal maintenance, tires, you name it. For those of you out there with classic cars, there's no one I could trust more than Kevin and Todd with something I know you cherish and is so near and dear to you. So give Kevin and Todd a call at AMCO of Bonita Springs. 239-992-2626. 239-992-2626.
Looking to hire? Indeed will help you speed up the process. They have 135 skill sets to help you find the right candidates faster. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
From 92.5 Fox News.
It's the stuff Southwest Florida is talking about.
It's Daybreak. Now, here's the guy at the epicenter of what's important to those of us who live in Southwest Florida. Drew Steele.
Hey, good morning, Southwest Florida. So glad you're here. 239-479-5592 is the talk and text line. We stream live. DrewSteele.com. That's the website. We appreciate you watching there. Facebook, we're still there if you want to go at Drew Steele Radio. Don't worry, some changes are coming. Good changes on the way. I haven't even told Jake about some of these changes, but they're good. Got some good stuff lined up. As far as the visual portion of the program, it's got nothing to do with Jake or seeing Jake because it's there's been a demand, Jake. There's been a demand to see you more. I can't lie. I'm like Honest Dave. Not one single person has said I need to see Jake more. But in there, maybe on the comments and the reaction section on at DrewSteele.com, there are a few people that would enjoy that. The thing is that he just doesn't want to be seen. He doesn't like it when he's on the camera. Nope, has no desire. All right, so we're moving past that, and we're getting to other issues. Yes, the Lee County School Board was packed once again last night. We're going to talk about what happened and a few of my concerns. I'm not going to go over for a long time, only because there's a lot to dig into, and we'll have plenty of time to do that this morning. We'll have Dave Ray, Federation for American Immigration Reform. We come to find out that now, apparently, according to Jen Psaki, Circle Back Girl.
I hate to disappoint you, but I will have to circle back with you on that as well. Circle back? Circle back?
Yeah, according to Jen Psaki, who likes to circle back.
I'll circle back.
Yeah, I know. The reason why Kamala Harris is Vice President of the United States, who's in charge of, the border, as Joe Biden has put her in charge, and also something else that he's put her in charge of, which is hysterical, considering that she hasn't even been in charge of the border situation and the crisis there. We're told that the reason why she's not there, everybody, is because COVID. Because, there's a lot going on. You got a lot of movement, and the COVID is down there and along the border, and we want to keep everybody safe. Got to keep them safe. So Yeah, I'm not kidding. So we'll play the audio and we'll get into that with Dave Ray coming up at 7. 8:05, Phil Kirpin's going to join us, someone who has been keeping tabs on anything and everything that is COVID-related and vaccines and the numbers and cases and really what is happening with even the Fauci and what he says goes, or is it, or CDC. There's a lot to discuss with that as well. And there's even some interesting COVID news that's out there. I wonder, because people have asked me, and they've probably said the same thing to you too. Hey, are we going to get to the point where like my employer is going to say, look, you can't come to work without being vaccinated? Are we going to start getting to the point where you're not going to be able to do anything unless you have proof of vaccination? Like that's where we are. The carrot and the stick approach, or the, hey, listen, forget the stick. It's just a carrot. Listen, if you do something really nice for us, like get vaccinated, we'll do something nice for you, like give you free stuff. Can we give you free stuff? It seems like the United States is getting fed constantly with free stuff. I mean, even Jake was asking me yesterday, when's my next stimmy? Right? Didn't you say something about, oh no, he said that somebody that he knows, one of his millennial buddies, asked him, when's my next stimmy check? Didn't somebody ask you about that yesterday? Which I thought was pretty interesting.
Yeah, very commonly.
Yeah. They're constantly, when's the next stimmy check? Because, I'm kind of liking this really not going back to work thing, that I'm making as much right now as I would make as if I went and actually performed a job. And that's not a joke. That's really happening right now in the United States. A symptom caused by the government. Something caused by the government that's now going to have to be solved by the government. And the simple way to solve it is to stop giving people money and stimmies and stop it and get people back to work. But no, they'll continue to be an excuse for that. So we'll get to that coming up as well. All right. Everybody is ready. Listen, anytime you want to call, 239-479-5592. Maybe you were one of the hundreds of individuals who showed up once again at the Lee County School Board meeting to weigh in on LGBTQ issues, as the news press put this so cleverly, and the way that they discussed it. And I'm going to break this down because, again, this is your local media, and this is how they're going to describe it. Lee County School Board weighs in on LGBTQ issues, hears from public again over one-page flyer. That's all it was, everybody. What's the big deal? It was just a one-page flyer. So what? So what? It had to do with Equality Florida and transgender issues and the fact that there were parents and teachers and, stakeholders, as the district likes to put it, the stakeholders. And that nobody knew what was going on here. It was just sort of like all of a sudden everybody woke up and there were posters on the wall and there were kids going, what is this? There were parents going, what is this? People saying, what is this? I don't understand. When did this come about? And last night, we didn't get a lot of answers on that front. As a matter of fact, dare I say, we didn't get a lot of answers as what's going to happen moving forward at all. It was a lot of, hey, go ahead and spend an hour, talk whatever you want to talk about. We'll talk about the issue that you're here for, and ultimately we'll go back and forth. And I felt like talking to a lot of people last night that once again we don't have anything resolved. So what am I talking about? I'll give you some specific examples. But again, if you were there, I'd love to hear from you. Again, 239-479-5592. Now, we knew that there were going to be a lot of different groups showing up. You know that there were a lot of church groups that showed up, a lot of concerned parents and individuals who don't understand what is going on in the district. They're confused because nobody is being specific as to the moments in time that things were happening, the way that issues were being presented. And look, if you're watching and you're listening to this right now and you feel like you want to check out because you don't have a child in school or you're just tired of talking about it, that's what people are banking on. Number one, that you're going to be tired of talking about it. And this, look, it's a news cycle. Everything changes like that. We're moving on, right? But there are also situations here that you have to understand that elected officials, the ones that you scream about, that you get upset when people, local, state, or nationally, are doing something that you don't like, that you want to vote them out of office and do something about it. But when push comes to shove, this is the time to do something about it, and this is the time to pay attention, because this isn't just about the school board. This is about every elected official. So a lot of people showed up. A lot of people on the LGBTQ side showed up. Somebody was mentioning to me yesterday, I wonder if as the people come to the microphone and start to talk about the issues of equality and take a different side than many people were taking in the room, I wonder if they're all living here in Southwest Florida. It would be nice to just say, hey, where are you from? Maybe you should say what your name is and what town you live in. Only because there were people that were like, I'm not really sure that they all live here. But anyway, that's a whole other subject. That's just people saying things to me. So a couple of things that we found out. According to the news press, a crowd of at least 350 people attended the meeting to speak for and against the one-page flyer, which was included in this year's Code of Conduct. And again, this is what they keep harping on, and this is the thing they keep talking about is, listen, it was included in this year's Code of Conduct. It was passed. What's the big deal? The district passed this Code of Conduct. The big deal is that nobody knew it. Then the news press says many schools put up posters of the flyer around campus, and staff reported similar one-page documents. They're in place in Alachua and Brevard and Broward and Collier and Duval and Indian River, and they go through all these places. We don't care. We don't care about any other place. Stop doing that. Stop taking things that have to do with issues here in Southwest Florida with the people that live here in town and comparing it to other areas around the state or around the country. Well, in New York, they're doing this. Well, we don't live in New York. Early on in the pandemic, well, listen, the governor of the state of New York is allowing positive COVID patients to go back into nursing homes. I think we should do the same. No, we're not New York, and I'm glad we're not. Is that your suggestion? That we're supposed to, just because another place is doing it, another state, another county is doing it, well, what's the matter? They're doing it because we're not them. How do you not get that? No, I'm serious. How do you not get that we are not Orange County, Palm Beach County, Manatee County, Broward County? We're not Hernando County. We certainly are Collier County. But I'm looking at some of the other places like Pinellas, Sarasota, Miami-Dade. We're not Miami-Dade. We're not even close to being Miami-Dade. Why would you? Well, they do it there. I mean, everybody's doing it. So what? Lee County shouldn't be doing it. Collier County shouldn't be doing it. I think if they knew. So there were other things that were discussed yesterday. According to the news press, they were going back to the meeting called to order. Board members threw out alternate ideas for the school meeting, just so you know that this is the news press reporting on this, and this, again, is part of the issue here. Chris Patrica, one of the board members, brought up concerns about parents' rights to know how schools are working with students on a gender identity plan, which staff assured her would need to be reviewed with the passing of a new state law. She also asked for clarification on locker and changing room space. So I can feel confident, she said, now that my sons will be changing in a locker room with other biological boys and my daughter will be changing in a locker room with other biological girls. Is that a fair assessment? And Chuck Bradley, who is the district's director of positive prevention. Did you know we had a director of positive prevention? We do. He said at this time, that's a fair assessment. But we do work for equity for our students who are transgender to make sure that they have an equitable changing room. Is that an answer? Sure sounds to me like you have a board member who's saying, you feel confident that everything's good, right? And in changing rooms, locker room with other biological boys. My daughter's going to be changing in a locker room with other biological girls. And Chuck Bradley is saying, yeah, it's a fair assessment. But hey, listen, we work for other students who are transgender. We have to make sure that they have equitable change. You didn't answer the question. It was thrown out there, but the question was never answered. And there was a lot of that going on last night. And again, I take this back to important points, and it's this. If you're listening to me right now and you're completely unplugged from what's happening with the Lee County School Board, you don't think there's anything to see here, move along. I like the way my child's being taught. I don't have any problems with their teachers. Everything seems fine to me. I don't get why you're making a big stink out of this. Because more times than not just the school board, but other places in government, elected officials that you elect, that work for you, that you pay their salaries, that they get elected and then they basically do the... Well, if you're watching at drewsteele.com, you see this. It's an Italian thing. They don't care. They're going to make all kinds of noise and make it seem like they're doing things and getting things done with the hopes that you're just going to forget about it, which 9 times out of 10 you do. And then they just move on. And they're fine and they're safe. And then when they come to you for for your vote, maybe your support in running for office. You're like, yeah, never had a problem with them before. Till you actually find out we don't have questions being answered. Melissa Giovanelli last night, a school board member, asked some very important questions. And again, the audio I'm going to play, it's from the school board meeting last night. And these are things that are very telling. And not only what transpired throughout the night, but again, it goes back to how you're not getting answers, but then you're just moving on. Take the LGBTQ issue out of it for a second. I mean, what you feel about it, what you think is the right thing and the wrong thing when it comes to gender pronouns and playing sports and everything else. A flyer that has to do with something that's incredibly sensitive to parents who want to be the ones to talk to their kids about these issues. This poster went up in elementary schools and other schools across the district. Parents, teachers, in some cases, in Melissa Giovanelli's case, school board members who knew nothing about this and just want answers. And I want you to listen to how telling this is. She asked the question of Chuck Bradley, the district's director of positive prevention, and everybody else. Who approved this?
Who actually approved the poster to be put into the classrooms throughout the district? Because I hear they're even in elementary schools. So I don't know who approved that. So I was just curious.
I don't know the answer to that. The posters were a resource that was provided as support for our non-discrimination policy 1.27.
Speak up, please.
The poster was provided as a resource for support of our non-discrimination policy 1.27.
But shouldn't that have gone to as a board approval?
It did.
I don't know the answer to that.
I don't know the answer to that. They don't know who gave the approval to put the posters up, and they don't know anything about the board approving. Really? So the board doesn't know whether or not the board should be approving things like this. And then when asked about who approved it, nobody knows. Do you see the problem here? Take all the other issues out of it and just make it this one issue, and you can see why there's a problem with the school board and why everything's got to be just cleaned out. You got a clean house. Because you got a board that has no clue what anybody's doing, putting up posters about Equality Florida and transgender issues that have not been yet discussed with their elementary school kids, and you don't think there's any problem with that. I don't know. Somebody did it, whatever. It doesn't really matter. Yes, it matters. It not only matters because it's a very sensitive issue, but it matters because nobody knows what's going on. How do you not see that? Again, that's the second time I said that this break. There are people that see it, they know it, they don't care. Because the fact of the matter is that there are people who work in the district, who work in our communities, who work at elected official levels that have no problem with any of this and any of the agenda that is steamrolling our communities and our culture and everything else, and just don't want you to know it and just hope that the issue will go away. And they'll just kind of slip it in and it'll just be there in the ether, and that's the end of that. I mean, simple questions, right? Who approved this? Nobody knows. Nobody knows. Here we are right now. Nobody knows. Do we know how many people? I mean, she asked another question, Melissa Giovanelli. Again.
I sent an email a couple weeks ago after this last meeting was regarding last year in August or September, the code of conduct was digitally sent to people, and I was concerned on we should know how many people. I've spoken to so many people that I was unaware that it was there, that they did not even sign off on it. Do we have the number of how many parents and students received it and actually signed off that they did read that?
Yeah, how many people signed off on it? How many people got it, received it, knew they had it, and read it? Parents, teachers, school board, everybody. Do we have a number? Do we know how many? I mean, this is pretty obvious. I mean, it's easy to get, right? You should have this at your disposal.
My understanding is staff is working on getting you that number.
Oh.
So I don't have it in front of me now.
You don't have it. Staff's working on it. That's Greg Atkins, the soon-to-be former superintendent of Lee County Schools. We're working on it. We'll get it. We don't have it right now, but I'll get it for you. That's what they do. Too often, we have elected officials that are doing, well, he's not an elected official, which is a problem. But again, do you see what's happening here? There are no answers. Nobody has any answers, and we're not getting answers. And bottom line, before we go, Jake, is this. And Melissa Giovanelli mentioned this.
There was an issue with the Florida Equality poster that was put in the agenda last year that nobody really was aware of it, including teachers, because I've spoken to many that did not know it was there, including myself. I admitted that. So my concern is, you mentioned that that's being taken out, but what will be put in its place? That information wasn't provided again today, and I'm concerned that in next June or August or whatever, that there'll be something there that wasn't in the briefing again. So I want to make sure that that's avoided.
Yeah, so do I, and so do we. And again, that's what I would take away from all of this. Is that they're going to take it out and they're going to make some adjustments and they're going to make some tweaks to the code of conduct and don't worry about it. We'll handle it. Nothing specific. Are we going to know anything about it specifically? Is it going to change to the benefit of the people who live in the district who pay their salaries? Is it going to change in that way, or is it just going to be minor tweaks and everything just to make sure that there are no lawsuits? We don't want to lose any federal funding. We don't want to lose anything for the district. We don't want to push back at all, even though the people in the district want answers and would like to see it. Okay, these are the things that should be happening before. They weren't happening before. Many people have a problem believing that it will happen now. You caught us. All right, well, listen, moving on. We're going to do the right thing from now on. You sure about that? 239-479-5592. It's Daybreak 92.5 Fox News. When we come back, man, there's a lot to talk about. The Supreme Court may be considering a Second Amendment concealed carry case, a big one. And what about this other Florida bill that would allow students to record professor lectures to use as political bias evidence? Whoa. Talk about that coming up. It's Daybreak 92.5 Fox News, right all along.
This is 92.5 Fox News. 92.5 Fox News.
When only the truth will do.
This Fox News Business Report is presented by Sargent's Integrated Pest Solutions Incorporated, providing organic and botanical pest control solutions since 2011.
I'm Maria Bartiromo, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Kanye West's new company logo design, described as rays from a sun, is not such a bright idea, according to Walmart. The retail giant says it looks way too much like its 13-year-old sun logo, and that the Patent and Trademark Office should block it. Gucci and Facebook team up to take down a woman they say used multiple social media accounts to sell fake Gucci products. The companies filed a joint lawsuit against her in California. Tesla zooms past analysts' first quarter earnings estimates as it delivers a record number of cars. The electric car maker says strong demand from China helped boost global deliveries for the first quarter to nearly 185,000. And the S&P 500 and NASDAQ closed at record highs yesterday. I'm Carmen Roberts. That's your Fox Business Report, invested in you.
It's a dangerous time in big cities like New York, L.A., Chicago, San Francisco, and more. Now, Rob Schmidt is on Newsmax TV exposing the truth in his series Cities on Fire. Watch Rob Schmidt tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern and see his Cities on Fire special on Newsmax TV. Now on all major cable systems. Get Newsmax free on smart TVs, Roku, Pluto, Zumo, or YouTube. Or download the free Newsmax app on your phone and start watching. Newsmax is real news for people.
With PatriotSoftware.com, accounting and payroll, keep your time and money.
Mike Capel here, serial entrepreneur. Doing payroll is no longer a headache for our customer, Jeff.
I've used various payroll providers in the past, and none can hold a candle to Patriot Software. Their software is ridiculously easy to use. The support staff is knowledgeable and courteous. I am very excited that Patriot Software files my tax forms for me, not just providing the forms like other payroll companies do. As a business owner, managing payroll has been a long-time headache that I no longer struggle with, thanks to Patriot Software. I definitely rate your company 5 out of 5 stars.
Go to patriotsoftware.com to get your payroll pricing for up to 100 employees. Use promo code XM and get 2 months of payroll processing free. That's patriotsoftware.com.
patriotsoftware.com. Accounting and payroll. Keep your time and money.
Hey, this is Papa, reporting that we're still getting a lot of calls from homeowners who were told they needed a new re-roof after Irma. Most of these folks had a few broken tiles that are obsolete. Our company has 2 warehouses filled with the older obsolete tiles that have never been used. If you think that you may not need a new re-roof, but only need to replace some obsolete tile, please call me for our free tile roof inspection. We may be able to repair and seal your roof to make it look new and beautiful, a lot cheaper than replacing the entire roof. If you call me for our free inspection, we'll place you on a proactive list. And in the event of another hurricane, you won't have to go searching for a contractor because we will automatically call you to see if you need assistance. Let me show you how we can clean and seal and protect your roof, pavers, and pool decks. On behalf of my sons, Casey, Gary, and Cody, call us at 945-2700. That's 945-2700, area code 239-945-2700. We're open 24/7, and you can call us right now for a free tile roof inspection.
License number CCC 1326213.
You find yourself searching for a reputable air conditioning company?
Don't sweat. Call Brett.
I'm Crystal Casey with Brett Air Conditioning. For over 45 years, our motto has been, don't sweat, call Brett. We are a family-owned business with a great reputation. Whether your AC needs maintained, serviced, or replaced, we are here to serve you. So stop searching and join the Brett Air family today. You can find us online at brettairconditioning.com or call us at 239-566-3633. 239-566-3633.
If you don't love your AC company, call Brett Air right now. Find them online at brettairconditioning.com or like them on Facebook.
Don't sweat. Call Brett.
License number CAC 1819995.
I'm Harvey Massey. At Massey Services, we know every lawn is unique and requires customized care. That's why our environmental approach includes aeration, which allows water and nutrients to reach the roots of your lawn, as well as an irrigation program which ensures proper coverage and reduces water waste. With Massey's Green Up program, you'll enjoy a healthy and a beautiful lawn year-round. That's Massey Services. Expect more and get it.
Hey, Aaron Walker here from Naples Nissan with some good news from the factory. We've just been authorized to add all brands to the list of vehicles eligible for our trade-in offer. Yep, literally all brands qualify now. So if your 9-year-old Beamer just hit 100,000 miles, don't cry. Stop paying for expensive repairs and premium gas for that old gas-guzzling luxury brand you're driving. As long as it's a 2012 or newer with less than 120,000 miles on it, bring it to Naples Nissan to get the full original base MSRP for it so you can drive home in a brand new, fuel-efficient Nissan today. Whatever your trade-in was worth when it was brand new, even if you didn't buy it new, regardless of where you bought it from, and regardless of what brand it is, that's what we'll give you for it. Get full details at naplesnissan.com. Offers on select models with approved credit and cannot be combined.
People say they don't like going to the dentist, but what they mean is they don't like the discomfort. Dr. Alan Rembos at smilesbyrembos.com understands. Dr. Rembos uses computerized anesthetic delivery, resulting in 50% fewer injections. And Dr. Rembos places and restores implants, eliminating delays, additional costs, and no running around. New patients and emergencies usually seen within 24 hours. Cosmetic treatment often completed in 1 to 2 weeks. Read the reviews at smilesbyrembos.com. Offices in Marco, Naples, Sanibel, and Fort Myers.
Wink News Traffic.
Traffic slowing in Lehigh on northbound Sunshine to Lee Boulevard. Also unusually slow on Bell Boulevard towards Centinela. So give yourself a few extra minutes if you have to make this commute. If you are in Fort Myers, a slowdown beginning on Daniels Parkway just to the west of Tree Line. That typical morning rush underway. And also a southbound delay on Ortiz beginning towards MLK Boulevard. That's your up-to-the-minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Happy Tuesday, Southwest Florida. We are starting off once again on the cooler and drier side with most of you in the 60s. Temperatures will soar to the upper 80s and lower 90s again this afternoon, but at least with that low humidity, it won't be a terrible day to get outside. Partly cloudy sky, and our next big change doesn't come till later on this week with our next opportunity for rain. I'm Wink News Weather Authority meteorologist Brittany Van Voorhees.
Drive the lefties at work crazy with the facts. Get up to speed mornings with Drew Steele.
92.5 Fox News. Right all along.
It's Kaylee Kobe with your Kobe Cooling Tip of the Day. It's summertime, so it's hot. Make sure you change your AC filters every month and have your air conditioners cleaned twice a year by Nate certified mechanics, like my dad. All the mechanics at Kobe Cooling are Nate certified because you deserve the best. If your AC stops working, turn it off and call 239-482-1542 and relax. We will take it from there. 24/7, same low prices, never no more time charge. When you think of air conditioning companies, we hope you'll think of Kobe Cooling. No nonsense, no pressure. We're the company your neighbors use. License CACO 57313. Kobe, most trusted name in the business since 1949.
Thank you for your business all these years.
2, 4, 6. It's the $8,000 trade-in event. $8,000. For 4 days only, Sutherland Nissan Fort Myers and Sutherland Nissan Cape Coral are giving you $8,000 more than book value for your trade. Thursday through Sunday. Only Florida's #1 Nissan dealer can give you more money than your stimulus and tax refund combined. Bring in any trade, regardless of year, make, or model. Whether it's a loan, lease, or paid off. How can you possibly pass this opportunity up? Nobody pays you $8,000 more than anything is worth. Nobody, except Sutherland Nissan. Plus, our in-store basketball hoop is set up. Make a half-court shot and you win. Rip up the contract because your car is on the house. The $8,000 trade-in event absolutely ends 7 p.m. Sunday. Rush to Sutherland Nissan Fort Myers and the all-new Sutherland Nissan Cape Coral, your used car megastore. Online at flnissan.com. If you don't shop Sutherland, you'll pay too much.
See dealer for details.
Nothing runs like a... I need something I can depend on. I need a Kubota.
At Florida Coast Equipment, we have equipment you can depend on. We have the best deals in town for Kubota tractors, mowers, utility vehicles, and Kubota construction equipment. Our family has been Florida's premier Kubota dealership for over 30 years. Whether you're buying, renting, or simply need your Kubota service, come on over to Florida Coast Equipment in Naples. Equipment you can depend on at a price you'll love. Florida Coast Equipment, we've got you covered.
She's been shopping for months to make sure that when she walks, people are always looking at her feet. Italian, classic, modern, she had to find the perfect look. And when her friends come and visit, their gaze always goes down to admire her floors.
Get your floors noticed. GC Flooring Boutique for indoor and outdoor living. View GC Flooring's extensive stone, mosaic, vinyl, wood, and tile. Your Legno Bastogne Gallery on JNC Boulevard. GCFlooringofNaples.com.
Before buttons, things were much harder, like starting an outboard motor. Come on. Or even treating sleep apnea. If you've tried CPAP but struggle to get a good night's sleep, relief can be as easy as a button with Inspire.
Inspire is a sleep apnea treatment that works inside your body with just the click of a remote. No mask, no hose, just sleep. To learn more, visit InspireSleep.com. Inspire, sleep apnea innovation. Inspire is not for everyone. Talk to your doctor to see if it's right for you and review important safety information at InspireSleep.com.
If you were lied to when buying a timeshare and want out, you need my help. Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, CEO and founder of Wesley Financial Group. 10 years ago, I started the timeshare cancellation industry by exposing the ugly truth about timeshare and giving folks the straight facts. I've been fighting the timeshare giants ever since, so no one knows this industry better than me and my team. Today, we have 383 employees and have saved our clients an average of $65,000 in lifetime payments. Imagine putting those timeshare dollars back in your pocket. If you were told at a timeshare presentation that this was available today and today only, that timeshare was a great investment, or your maintenance fees will never go up, call my office now. I guarantee if we take you as a client, We will cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call now for your free information kit. 800-501-3939. 800-501-3939. 800-501-3939.
This is Drew Steele on 92.5 Fox News.
All right, 239-479-5592, the talking text line. You know, Jake misses it when I don't do a lot of, like Florida stories, like Florida man stories, as we call them here, Florida stories. Are you ready for one? I got a good one for you this morning. You ready?
What you got?
All right, what you got? First of all, you need theme music, right? Okay. There you go.
Florida.
All right, I didn't say it was good. I just said it was music. All right, do you like that one? I have a couple of Florida music things, but anyway. All right, enough of that. Hey, listen to this. So we got a guy that's behind bars in Ocala. Why? He was arrested inside a bank during an attempted robbery. That's bad. But there's a little more to the story of the dub part. So he goes into the bank in Ocala. He approaches a window and reads the teller a prepared note saying that he was robbing the bank and that she was to give him money. So the teller looks at a coworker and then activates the alarm. And they're like, hey, listen, we'll be in the back. We'll be right back. We're going to get the cash. So they go back and they tell him they're going to get the money out of the bank. So they walk to the back, call police. So they set the alarm and then they call police. The police show up and the guy's still standing there because he's waiting for the tellers to come back to bring the money. He was waiting. And so what are you doing here? Oh, nothing. Hey, what's that note you have in your hand? Nothing. Can I read it? It was the note. And so, yeah. There you go. So they got him. So that's your, there's your story.
Florida.
I don't know if it was impressive, but I just thought it was one of those stories where it has a happy ending. Crime does not pay. Crime doesn't pay.
When you get caught.
See me after class. Honesty is the best policy, right? That's another one. For example, if you're the president of the United States and you...
we choose truth over facts.
And you're honest because you're the president, and its honesty is... you're Joe Biden, and you tell everybody that really it's about bringing bipartisanship, coming together. We have to have unity. Well, Jen Psaki, our Circle Back girl...
I'll circle back.
Yeah. Was asked the question, well, something's going on here because we're not seeing a whole lot of unity from Joe Biden. So yesterday at the White House press briefing, she was asked about that. Where's Joe Biden's unity?
Is there a White House concern when you guys...
No, that's not it. This is it.
You know, you talk about, earlier you said you wanted to bring, or the president wanted to bring the country back together. So I guess the question is, he has not met with House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy, according to Kevin McCarthy. What does that say about unity? And also there are some other legislative issues as it relates to H.R. 1 and a commission to study packing the Supreme Court, as you would say. And there's a lot of other lists as well, budget reconciliation. So there's a lot of folks, you talk about tens of millions of people, they're concerned about that this doesn't seem like unity at all.
Yeah.
Do you think tens of millions of people are concerned about him not meeting with Kevin McCarthy?
No, I think tens of millions of people are concerned about H.R. 1 and budget reconciliation and going with that 50-vote threshold. I think
I'm
that was
not sure the polling bears that out, but I will say...
Okay, here's what she says. You ready? This is the reason why, and here's what's going on with Joe Biden and unity. Listen, the polling doesn't care that Joe Biden hasn't met with House Minority Leader McCarthy. They don't care about that kind of stuff, but here's the thing.
That the president's view is that bringing the country together is bringing the American people together. So when I say he is focused on bringing people together, bringing Democrats and Republicans together, he's not talking about solving bipartisanship in this zip code here.
No, that's not what he was talking. He's not talking about bringing unity in Washington, D.C. He's talking about bringing Democrats and Republicans together, unified across the world. Not in D.C., not legislatively. Come on, did you really think that? No. No, it was about bringing Republicans and Democrats, because that's why people voted for him. They're like, man, I wish is there somebody that exists right now that could bring Republicans and Democrats together? You mean like political? No, not politically. Just that we would bring them together. Well, the Republican and Democrat thing it's a political thing. I know, but it's about bringing people together. Yeah. There was a lot of that with Jen Psaki yesterday. It was Peter Doocy, who's one of the few people who asked the tough questions of Jen Psaki and is trying to figure out, listen, you got Kamala Harris, the vice president. Joe Biden made her in charge of the crisis there at the border. She has yet to visit the border. We're told from 2 football fields apart over the weekend yesterday that it's getting better. There's progress. We're making progress. Remember that audio from yesterday? We're making progress. Everything is fine. So he's like, what's going on with this? Do we have any reason why she's not going?
Is there a White House concern when you guys are planning presidential or vice presidential travel, but more about COVID at the border than other places that she has traveled recently?
We certainly know that the number of people who are in facilities, the reason we have been so focused on expediting moving kids out of these Border Patrol facilities is because we want to reduce the public health impact in these facilities and get them into spaces where we can do social distancing and when we can ensure these kids have access to health and medical experts and educational resources. So
it's starting to sound like it's COVID related. Is that what you're suggesting, that she didn't go and she's not going because of COVID?
That's certainly, and we've made some progress on that front, even over the last few weeks since you got married, I will say, on that exact issue. So, look, but if a president or a vice president goes down and visits a facility like this, you have to potentially clear some parts out. There's a lot of security that comes.
We can't have that. We can't have a president or a vice president clearing out security. I mean, how do you do that? We don't even have the capacity to do that. We can't even stop people from coming into the country, and you want us to kind of clear people out and get things situated because we have a president or a vice president? Are you kidding me? That's ridiculous.
Our focus here is on solutions, on making progress, on moving these kids out of these facilities, on getting them connected with sponsor homes, with family members if possible, and that's really where the president's focus is at this point.
Yeah, that's the focus. Come on, let's. You got to stop asking these crazy questions. She can't go because of COVID, and we got kids. They're all close together and everything. And not saying they're in cages or anything like that. There's no cages, and we've got them close together in close quarters. And COVID is running rampant along the border, and we wouldn't want anything that. So COVID, and the other thing is you can't be serious in suggesting that we have the capacity to let them know we're coming. Like the vice president is going to be showing up and that we're going to have to move people. Like, you can't ask us to do that. Where would they go? What would we do? It's impossible. It's an impossibility. I mean, we could have little baby helicopters floating around Mars. I think there was something on that, right? Wasn't there some 4K video or footage of the little helicopter bouncing around on Mars, right? Didn't we see that yesterday? Did you see any of that? No?
No, I'm not.
I thought that was a big deal. That was kind of it's still floating around there. You got the little helicopter thing. Somehow we can get a helicopter on Mars and give us 4K footage of Nevada. Basically, you look if you want to know what Mars looks like, just go to Nevada. That's what it looks like. It's no different. I mean, you could bring a little baby helicopter and take a 4K shot of the Red Rock there in Nevada and the Grand Canyon. Same thing. You wouldn't even know the difference. I could tell you that, and that's what it would be. So we could do that. We could have the baby helicopter on Mars. I mean, it's a cool thing, but it's true. It looks like Nevada. But for some reason, we can't figure out a way to clear out all the people that are along the border, the kids and everything, so that the vice president can show up. Just to say that she showed up! Like she's actually doing something. No, we can't have that. It's an impossibility. Maybe if we got a helicopter to fly over the border to take video of, I don't really know, 4K video of Nevada. All right, 239-479-5592. We've gone to a really weird place. All right, when we come back, We could talk a little less about that. That would be fine. Dave Ray, Federation for American Immigration Reform coming up at 7:05. Also, what else is going on? I'm really interested in this. Can you record a professor's lecture in a college, in a state college here in Florida, if you think that the professor is putting out political bias? And you've been telling people that there's political bias and there's the canceling of free speech, and I'm not able to speak on certain issues, but the professor is out there spewing out all kinds of crazy when it comes to the left-leaning radical ideology, and all I can do is tell you about it. But if I could record it, then I have proof. Would you be for that? Apparently, there's a bill here in the state that would allow us to do just that. Maybe we'll talk about that coming up. Stay break 92.5 Fox News 239-479-5592. And we will also let you know that coming up, if you've been looking forward to going to see The Plot Against the President, we've been giving away tickets. Actually, we've been telling you where you can get tickets for this great event. Congressman Devin Nunes here in town on Thursday, along with Kash Patel and Jack Langer and Amanda Milius, all part of the movie. And we had those great VIP tickets available. Well, we sold out of all of those, but we've got something else lined up for you. So I'll give you details on that coming up. All right, let's find out what's happening with traffic up to the minute. Sabrina Katz has it.
No crashes on I-75 as of right now, guys. It is a nice commute still if you're heading to and from Charlotte and Collier County. However, slowdowns beginning in Collier on 951 southbound towards the East Trail. Also a tap on the brakes on Airport pulling south towards the East Trail. Immokalee Road, seeing that morning rush underway. That slower traffic beginning west of 951. Also, Estero commuters starting to slow down on Corkscrew west to I-75. That's your up to the minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Happy Tuesday, Southwest Florida. We are starting off on the cooler and drier side once again with temps in the 60s. A far cry from this afternoon as we reach near 90 degrees for most of you. Low humidity still under a partly cloudy sky. I'm Wink News Weather Authority meteorologist Brittany Van Voorhees.
Flash Truck.
Lawsuit in California San Mateo County Superior Court. It alleges that YouTube has set minority hiring quotas. The suit's filed by somebody named Arn Wilberg, a YouTube recruiter who also worked for YouTube's parent company, Google. Now, Wilberg claims that last spring, YouTube recruiters were instructed to only interview female, Black, or Hispanic applicants. The suit also says the company told recruiters to purge the applications of anybody not fitting those categories. Wilberg, a white male, says he complained, and when he was ignored, he went to Google management. And shortly after that, they fired him. Google says this is rubbish, that they don't use identity to hire, just merit. Now, according to the Wall Street Journal, 69% of Google's employees are men. White and Asian guys account for 91% of the Google staff, and the tech industry has had a big push to diversify. The Journal also reports that people familiar with Google and YouTube hiring practices corroborate some of the lawsuit's allegations, including the hiring freeze on white and Asian guys and YouTube's use of racial quotas. The Journal says the lawsuit threatens to ignite simmering controversy about Silicon Valley's politics and whether its predominantly liberal ideology is affecting how companies operate. That's controversial? Is there anybody anywhere who thinks liberal ideology has not infected and corrupted Silicon Valley?
Guest host alumni Buck Sexton here, recognizing this great audience relationship and speaking on behalf of the Oxford Gold Group. It's the company I've come to trust for real gold and silver. Did you know that can still be delivered to your door or placed directly in your IRA or 401k, tax-free and penalty-free? That's right, real gold and silver in your hands or your retirement accounts. Why should you own real gold and silver? Because they both hold their value, especially when markets decline or fail. Oxford Gold Group is the industry leader in precious metals, offering gold and silver at the lowest prices on the market. The Oxford Gold Group will beat any competitor's price on gold, silver, platinum, and palladium. Call the Oxford Gold Group right now at 833-404-GOLD and request your free precious metals investment guide. Call 833-404-GOLD. They'll send you their precious metals investment guide. Call them right now, 833-404-GOLD. That's 833-404-GOLD.
Hello, I'm a unicorn. Yes, one of those. Everyone's trying to find me, but most can't, unless there's ZipRecruiter. If you've hired before, you understand it's quite hard to find a unicorn. You know, someone who's perfect for your role. So how does ZipRecruiter do it so quickly? ZipRecruiter's technology matches your job up with the right people for your role and invites them to apply, so you get brilliant candidates fast.
Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/trial. That's ZipRecruiter.com/trial.
Hi, this is Joe Cordell with the law firm Cordell & Cordell. When the prospect of divorce becomes a reality, you need a partner that you can count on. If you're a man in this situation, consider contacting Cordell & Cordell. We've helped men navigate complex legal matters for 30 years.
Contact Cordell & Cordell to schedule an appointment with one of our firm's Miami area attorneys. Online at CordellCordell.com. Se habla español. Legal services available in English and Spanish. Miami, Florida. Lisa Carges, Florida resident partner. Joseph Cordell, licensed in Missouri and Illinois only. Announcer is a paid presenter.
Is foot pain making your life miserable? The Good Feet store specializes in foot pain relief. Call 552-FEET or visit us at the Good Feet store in Naples or our newest location in Fort Myers. Or stop in for a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
With the Diamond District, you get the best of both worlds. Jason and Todd are wholesale diamond brokers selling to the public and jewelry stores across the country at wholesale prices. The Diamond District is also a retail store that you can visit every day and see the largest selection of GIA and Forevermark loose certified diamonds.
This is Drew Steele on 92.5 Fox News.
All right, you do remember that last week we were talking about a big event we have coming up on Thursday at Silver Spot Cinema in Naples, starting at 5 p.m. It's the Amanda Milius directed movie, The Plot Against the President. It's based on the great book of the best-selling author Lee Smith, the great Lee Smith. And it tells the story, the true story behind the biggest political scandal in U.S. history. We know it's the Russia collusion hoax. And we have Congressman Devin Nunes that will be here in town on Thursday with Kash Patel and Jack Langer. And Amanda Milius will also be here for this. And we sold out quickly of all the VIP tickets. But we do have tickets available so that you can see the movie and watch a simulcast of the Q&A that we will have right afterwards with Devin Nunes and Kash Patel and Jack Langer and Amanda Milius. So we have tickets available right now. If you go to 925foxnews.com, there's a limited supply of those tickets. So if you want to see The Plot Against the President at Silver Spot Cinema in Naples, that is at Mercado, on Thursday, April 29th, this Thursday at 5 p.m., and then get a chance to see the Q&A right afterwards, simulcast right there in the theater that I will be hosting with Devin Nunes and Kash Patel and Amanda Milius and Jack Langer. Then all you need to do is right now, limited supply, go to 925foxnews.com right there. If you scroll down, you'll see The Plot Against the President. You click right on there, and you can get your tickets right now while they last. So we would love to see you there on Thursday. All right, coming up, Dave Ray, Federation for American Immigration Reform, as well as this story. Hey, listen, you got a bill out there that is concerned about the free speech of students here in the state of Florida, and free speech activities should be able to peacefully assemble, right, and protest, speeches, distribute literature, carrying signs, circulating petitions, all of that. But what about the recording and publication, including internet publication, of video or audio recorded in outdoor areas of campus? You think that's a good thing? We have one Southwest Florida representative who is sponsoring this Florida bill, allowing students to record professor lectures to use as political bias evidence. We'll talk about that coming up this morning in Your Thoughts. We'll have more information on what happened last night at the Lee County School Board as well on the way, and some unanswered questions still, but some that were answered that should bother you, whether you have a child in the district or not. So we'll get to all of that coming up on Daybreak, 92.5 Fox News, right all along.
This is Daybreak, 92.5 Fox News.
Trust 1 Hour Air Conditioning and Heating to help keep your AC running strong. Call 855-1-HOUR or visit onehourair.com.
Always on time or you don't pay a dime.
Independently owned and operated, licensed in their respective state or county. The only thing worse than hiring no law firm after your injury is hiring the wrong law firm. When thousands of people call us every year asking to help them change law firms, I wonder why they ever call the other firm. When you're fighting to get what you deserve, it's go big or go home. We are big for a reason, which is why we've recovered over $9 billion for our clients. When it comes to law, size matters. We're America's largest injury law firm, Morgan & Morgan. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
This is Greg, owner of Tropical Generator. And when I started my generator business 17 years ago, I made it a priority to focus on reliability. Generators are a lot like fire extinguishers. Hopefully, you never have to use it. But when you do, it better perform flawlessly. There are a lot of competitors out there whose only goal is to separate you from your money. Whether the generator actually performs in an emergency, well, that's not really a concern. Instead of taking a big risk on a cheap fire extinguisher, call Tropical Generator today for a reliable generator system. I offer you 17 years of experience doing expert generator installations, a 4-year degree in electrical engineering, and the highest level Florida licenses in electrical and gas contracting. I also live in Fort Myers and have personally selected and trained every one of our employees. At Tropical Generator, we're big enough to help and small enough to care. Call today, 239-206-4509 or tropicalgenerator.com. That's 239-206-4509 or on the web at tropicalgenerator.com. License EC 13007873.
We've got you covered. Coming and going.
Drew Steele mornings. Trey Radel on the drive home at 5.
92.5 Fox News.
92.5 WFSX Estero. It's 7 o'clock on Southwest Florida's news and talk station, 92.5 Fox News.
We may get to face the world again. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. New guidance could come today that could unmask us outside. Fox's Tanya J. Powers has more live.
Well, Dave, that's the big question. Do vaccinated people need to wear masks outdoors? President Biden is expected to update the CDC's guidance on that in his remarks this afternoon. One of his top advisors, Dr. Anthony Fauci, has hinted that the update could also include new guidelines for those who are unvaccinated, too. The CDC says more than 231 million doses of the COVID-19 vaccine have been administered in the U.S., and almost 29% of Americans are fully vaccinated against the virus. Dave.
Tony, the protests continue in Elizabeth City, North Carolina, under a state of emergency.
I want y'all to think about 20 seconds. How 20 seconds can change anybody's life.
They're angry over last week's shooting that left a black man dead and some sheriff's deputies on leave.
Attorneys for the family of Andrew Brown Jr. accused deputies of executing him. They said they were only allowed to see 20 seconds of footage. Attorney Chantel Sherry Lassiter says what they did see was Brown being shot while his hands were on the wheel of his car.
And he backs out, not going towards the officers at all. At no time in the 20 seconds that we saw where he was threatening the officers in any kind of way.
The Pasquotank County Sheriff and Chief Deputy Sheriff Daniel Fogg said they've asked a court to allow them to release more.
Fox's Jessica Rosenthal amid calls for police reform. There's a new Fox poll showing 62% of those surveyed oppose defunding police, 77% support having to show an ID to vote. 2020 census numbers have 7 states losing seats in Congress, including New York.
If only 89 more people filled out their census forms. That's all New York State needed to maintain its congressional delegation based on the outcome of the 2020 count. But thanks to a decline in population, New York will have 26 House seats instead of 27.
Fox's Steve Rappaport. 5 states will gain 1 seat. Texas will get 2 more. America's listening to Fox News.
This update is presented by Lee Auto Group. Find your perfect vehicle at lee-cars.com.
Wink News traffic.
No crashes on I-75 as of right now, guys. It is a nice commute still if you're heading to and from Charlotte and Collier County. However, slowdowns beginning in Collier on 951 southbound towards the East Trail. Also a tap on the brakes on Airport pulling south towards the East Trail. Immokalee Road, seeing that morning rush underway. That slower traffic beginning west of 951. Also, Estero commuters starting to slow down on Corkscrew west to I-75. That's your up-to-the-minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Happy Tuesday, Southwest Florida. We are starting off once again on the cooler and drier side with most of you in the 60s. Temperatures will soar to the upper 80s and lower 90s again this afternoon, but at least with that low humidity, it won't be a terrible day to get outside. Partly cloudy sky, and our next big change doesn't come till later on this week with our next opportunity for rain. I'm Wink News Weather Authority meteorologist Brittany Van Voorhees.
Get more than what the internet tells you. Get up to speed on The Drive with Trey Radel. Weekdays 5 to 7. 92.5 Fox News. Right. All along.
Hi, I'm Kyle Lee with Lee Auto Group. We want your car, truck, van, or SUV today. We are paying top dollar for clean vehicles. Before you sell or trade, call Lee Auto Group to get the most money for your car. Lee Auto Group, lee-cars.com. Don't forget the dash.
Lee Auto Group is looking for quality pre-owned vehicles. Let them make your buying or selling experience easy and safe. Contact Lee Auto Group at 239-288-7374 or visit lee-cars.com.
Don't forget the dash.
Dial star 2020. Friends, I care.
Trey Radel, your host of The Drive here. Cataract surgery these days is so radically different, it's amazing. France Eye Care is offering what's called a lifestyle lens. It's called that for a reason. Maybe you need vision correction for near, far, in-between distances. Maybe night driving is your issue. Well, maybe you need an extended depth of focus, or even the ability to adjust the power of your lens after cataract surgery. That's how amazing this is. Do not leave something as important as your vision to the rookies. Trust Dr. Jonathan France and his team of expert surgeons at France Eye Care to guide you through the process of choosing the right solution for your eyes. Give them a call today. Just dial star 2020 on your mobile or give them a shout at 239-418-0999.
Friends, I care.
Hey, it's Drew Steele. You know the real estate market's really hot right now, but for how long? Well, nobody really knows. I mean, if people don't catch up on their mortgage payments because of COVID, the market's going to get flooded with foreclosure inventory, and that's scary because your home's value could plummet. So if you thought about selling your home for a premium price, now's the time to do it. But you don't want to make any costly mistakes. That's why you need to get with Anthony Gomes from GomesMovesHomes.com. See, he's been buying, selling, brokering, and investing in real estate for over 20 years. Mistakes in real estate can cost you tens of thousands of dollars. Anthony wrote a book on how to sell homes, your home, and for the most money. And he wants to ship it to you for free. Just go to GomesMovesHomes.com and tell him where you want to send it. Inside, you'll gain 20 years of secrets from wealthy home sellers on how you can sell for a premium price without doing repairs, letting strangers go through your home, and you could pick the closing date. Go to GomesMovesHomes.com. Again, GomesMovesHomes.com.
The new administration has big plans for healthcare. Changes are coming that could limit your choice and make your health insurance premiums even higher. Tim Cooper at Health Plan Network recently saved a family of 4 in the Fort Myers area $600 per month. Act now. Protect yourself and your family with a superior health plan that cannot be canceled. This is a nationwide PPO plan, which allows you to pick your doctors and hospital. Start saving 30 to 60% now. If you are on Obamacare, not insured, or on COBRA, you can log into a private health plan managed by you, not the government. Call Tim Cooper, an expert with 24 years experience, at 239-368-6712. That's 239-368-6712. Online at healthplannetwork.net. That's healthplannetwork.net.
This is an important notice to all U.S. taxpayers. The IRS is giving away billions of dollars in tax savings through a federal program called the Fresh Start Initiative to aid delinquent taxpayers. This initiative was established for anyone facing financial hardship and unable to pay their back taxes. Qualifying and enrolling in this program will stop all collections, settle your delinquent tax problem, and even reduce what you owe by thousands of dollars. Call the hotline at People's Tax Relief to see if you qualify and get this free information by dialing 800-269-3394. If you have unfiled tax returns or cannot afford to pay your personal or business back taxes, you can now get the help you need. One simple phone call can resolve your tax problem and save you thousands of dollars. To see if you qualify and to get this important free information, call 800-269-3394. 800-269-3394. 800-269-3394.
Hello.
Oh, I'm a unicorn. Yes, one of those. Everyone's tried to find me, but most can't, unless there's ZipRecruiter. If you've hired before, you understand it's quite hard to find a unicorn. You know, someone who's perfect for your role. So how does ZipRecruiter do it so quickly? ZipRecruiter's technology matches your job up with the right people for your role and invites them to apply, so you get brilliant candidates fast.
Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/trial. That's ZipRecruiter.com/trial.
From 92.5 Fox News.
It's the stuff Southwest Florida is talking about.
It's Daybreak. Now, here's the guy at the epicenter of what's important to those of us who live in Southwest Florida. Drew Steve.
Well, good morning, Southwest Florida. Glad you're here. 239-479-5592, the talk and text line. Streaming live, drewsteele.com. That is the website. Facebook at Drew Steele Radio as well if you want to watch. Dave Ray, Federation for American Immigration Reform, joining us right now. Just get an update on some of the things that FAIR is doing and some of the things that are going on along our southern border. First of all, D. Ray, good morning. How are you?
Hey, Drew. Doing great, buddy. How about you?
We're doing okay. So from what I understand, according to Jen Psaki yesterday at her White House press briefing, when asked about Kamala Harris and not going to the southern border and not being there, I guess now it's what? It's COVID-related, plus how in the world are we going to move everybody around? Do you know what a big deal it is to have a vice president visit the southern border, Dave? Do you understand the kind of things that have to happen and moving around and all these people, security and everything else? I mean, we can fly helicopters on Mars, D. Ray, but we can't figure out how to get the vice president to the southern border. I'm assuming that really nothing is going to be happening on that front.
Nothing is going to be happening except they're going to continue to deny that it's a crisis. The border czar, the vice president, who's from a border state, does not seem to be able to find the border. I find it very curious. What's actually happening here, Drew, is that the optics of what is going on at the border with the overcrowding issue. Some of these facilities are designed to hold 250 people, and they have 5,000. Yeah. So imagine they've locked the press out, so there's no one there to criticize. I mean, if you recall the amount of flack that President Trump received just from using the same facilities that the Obama administration. Now we're at a factor of 5,
right?
Where we have. And on top of that, so not only is the overcrowding an issue, the only people being tested for COVID are those who have COVID symptoms. So we really don't know the health status of most of these folks, although we're releasing them into the country. On top of all of that, you have a situation at the border where now children are being used and their lives are being endangered as a way to tie up the Border Patrol so the cartels can actually run drugs and human smuggling and
drones. I'm hearing about drones that are weaponized.
Yeah, I mean, so we have. You recall the picture of the 2 little girls being dropped off the top of the border fence. You had a couple weeks ago where somebody threw a baby into the Rio Grande, so the Border Patrol had to go in and rescue the baby while they were able to smuggle things in otherwise. There was an interesting report from the Tucson sector where they said they are estimating, I mean, what you have to imagine is most of these people are going towards the Border Patrol. They want to be arrested because they want to be caught and released into the interior of the United States.
Right.
But what they're really worried about are those who are able to slip by after creating distractions. And Art Del Cueto with the Border Patrol last week noted that in the Tucson sector alone, they think they have 155,000 what they call gotaways. Wow. These are the ones that they're really worried about because these are people who don't want to be caught. So do they have terrorist affiliations? Are they criminal aliens? Are they human smugglers? Are they drug mules? What's going on? 155,000 people in that one sector alone.
Wow.
This is a crisis that was created and lock, stock, and barrel by the Biden administration, and they need to own up to it. Somebody from the administration needs to go to that border and take ownership of the crisis.
Yeah, a couple of things that you mentioned, and then I want to move on. One of the things is we're still talking about how we can't get Kamala Harris or anybody to the border, and how we still have all of these kids, and trying to, the continuation of what Psaki has been saying with these White House press briefings about, getting them moved around and getting them with sponsors, somebody that can sponsor them in the U.S., as she puts it. But I wonder if that's indicative of how many are still coming in, if all of these weeks later, they still haven't been able to make it clear enough for people to visit. I don't know if that's being talked about enough, D-Ray, right? I mean...
Well, yeah. I mean, the quicker they put up new facilities, the faster they're filled up.
Right.
And the reason is that 42,000 people have been released into the United States. More than 15,000 of them were not even given a notice to appear. It's called an NTA. So if you come into the United States and you ask for political asylum, or I'm fleeing the government of Guatemala or what have you, you're given an NTA. Now, because of the backlog in court cases, I mean, it could take you 9 months to get your hearing, but you're at least being released into the United States with an expected court date. Now, I will add, about 40% of those people never fill out the proper paperwork to get the court date. Another 31% never show up for their hearings. Right. So we're just foregoing that altogether. We've released 15,000 people into the United States. And Drew, what happens is when every one of these people get to where they're going, after we put them on a bus or an airplane without testing them for COVID, when they get to where they're going, they pick up the phone and they call Central America and they say, hey, wasn't too difficult at all. And things are as easy as we've been told. The time to come is now. So they've caused a crisis. They said it was a seasonal uptick. It's not a seasonal uptick. I bet you the April numbers are going to top the 171,000 that came out of March. And this is not going away. And, the other thing that's causing so much problem for them is that there's no mention of deterring this.
Right.
It is how can we best, bring them in,
right,
and find them sponsors and get them away from the border and keep the American public in the dark about what's actually going on here, because we don't want to be scrutinized.
Yeah. And one thing I wanted to ask before we go is this. I know that it seems like Democrats continue to fuel a lot of the problems that are happening right now. To your point, where's the solution in stopping people from coming to the border as opposed to just moving them into the country as we see this cycle happening? What are they doing on Capitol Hill? From what I understand, there are two bills that are heading for a vote. I wanted to get the latest on these, H.R. 1333 and 1573. Do you have any information on those? Maybe describe what they are for everybody and where do we stand?
Well, I mean, they've already passed the House of Representatives. Both of them passed last week.
They did.
H.R. 1333 is the No Ban Act. And what that does is strip the president, any president, of the ability that if they detect that there is a foreign country that is a hotbed of terrorism, and that entry of people from those, because a lot of these countries will not work with us in vetting these immigrants. So we really don't know who we're bringing in as tourists or what have you. Where President Trump was able to ban the entry of people from nations that have a lot of animosity or towards the U.S. or are hotbeds of terrorism, it would remove the ability of the president to do that. So it's a real national security issue. It passed the House of Representatives right along party lines. I don't think it's going anywhere in the Senate. But then the other bill was H.R. 1573. It's the Access to Counsel Act. Now, you want to talk about something that's going to cost taxpayers lots of money and tie up the court system. If this bill passed, or it passed the House, but if it would go and be signed into law, anybody who's coming across a U.S. land border or flying into an airport, if Customs taps you for secondary inspection, in other words, they see something looks a little off about your passport or your story about why you're coming or any of that, if you go into secondary inspection with Customs, you are automatically given a taxpayer-funded lawyer to help you maneuver your way into the country.
What?
This is two great examples of immigration that is not in the national interest. It's in the special interest, and it's being the bill for all this is being footed by the American taxpayer.
Wow. All right. Well, I have to tell you, we got to run, but I do want to say that I appreciate the work that you're doing. And listen, if you want more information on what Federation for American Immigration Reform is doing, go to fairus.org. Find out more about these. Be read up on it, because these are the kind of things that you're going to have to present to people when they talk about the issues along the border, and to understand what exactly is happening and which side is doing things that are detrimental to the United States and our safety and security, and even our COVID security, even the things that we should be focusing on as well, that would be obvious, which is bringing people into the country or stopping people from coming into the country that we don't even have any idea what's going on with them when it comes to the issues of COVID. So certainly a lot of things to keep an eye on. Dave Ray. All right, D-Ray, we appreciate you, my friend. We'll do this again soon. All the best.
Have a great day, buddy.
All right, we'll see you. 239-479-5592 is the talk and text line. All right, coming up, we have a lot to talk about. We're going to talk a little bit about COVID. Phil Kerpen's going to join us at 8:05. We're going to get into some of what's happening with vaccines. And what about all of the people, companies that are giving you free stuff to vaccinate? Hey, if you do that, that would be a good thing. You want to go see a baseball game, maybe in L.A. or in San Francisco? Well, here's the thing. We're going to have fully vaccinated seating sections. Yeah? Is that what we're doing now? And then on the other side of it as well is the pressure that is being put on to vaccinate. Listen, a lot of people do it and enjoy the fact that they feel more secure. They have it. Certainly, the vaccination is something that once you get it, we are told that you're good to go, right? Although we're still masking up and we're still not allowing people to gather and get to. Well, it changes all the time. It's getting ready to change this morning with some new advice on what we need to do next with masking and the like. That's what I'm saying, is the fact that these things change so often. Trying to keep up with it. Well, that's what we're going to do coming up. It's Daybreak 92.5 Fox News, right all along with traffic. Here is Sabrina Katz. She's got it.
Traffic is slowing from a crash at the intersection of Palm Beach Boulevard and Dusty Trail. This is to the west of 31. Now, it is not a major backup, just a little delay. Also, slowdowns beginning on Ortiz heading south of MLK Boulevard. There's a slowdown on Daniels Parkway near Gateway Boulevard. That Daniels extension is just getting packed heading out of Lehigh Acres. Also, beach commuters, now's a great time to do that. We are up to speed on the Sanibel Causeway as well as the Matanzas Pass Bridge. The Trip to the Minute traffic, I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Happy Tuesday, Southwest Florida. We are starting off on the cooler and drier side once again with temps in the 60s. A far cry from this afternoon as we reach near 90 degrees for most of you. Low humidity still under a partly cloudy sky. I'm Wink News with authority meteorologist Brittany Van Voorhees.
Drew Steele in the morning and Trey Radel in the afternoon. 2 doses of what cures liberalism. 92.5 Fox News. Right all along.
Hey, it's Drew Steele. Well, the VIP tickets for the Naples viewing of The Plot Against the President sold out in record time. But we're releasing extra tickets just for you to join us. These tickets include a showing of the movie The Plot Against the President, and you'll be able to enjoy the Q&A session with Congressman Devin Nunes, Kash Patel, and others via simulcast. Tickets are just $30 and go very fast, so get them now. Check out 925foxnews.com for your details and to purchase tickets right now. All presented by Alfie Townsend and Advantage Retirement Group, PlantationShuttersForYou.com, and 925 Fox News, right all along.
Hi, doctor.
So how are you feeling?
With Millennium Physician Group's telehealth service, MPG Connect, be seen by your Millennium healthcare provider in the comfort of your home from your computer, smartphone, or tablet.
So good to see you.
Call your Millennium doctor's office or 844-CALL-MPG to request a virtual visit with the care team who knows you best.
I'll talk to you soon.
Millennium's telehealth service, MPG Connect. Your doctor, your device, your connection to a healthier life.
Hi, this is Joe Cordell with the law firm Cordell & Cordell. When the prospect of divorce becomes a reality, you need a partner that you can count on. If you're a man in this situation, consider contacting Cordell & Cordell. We've helped men navigate complex legal matters for 30 years.
Contact Cordell & Cordell to schedule an appointment with one of our firm's Miami area attorneys. Online at CordellCordell.com. Se habla español. Legal services available in English and Spanish. Miami, Florida. Lisa Carges, Florida resident partner. Joseph Cordell, licensed in Missouri and Illinois only. Announcer is a paid presenter.
Keeping your home and business cool is a struggle, but now you can be the insider on how it all works and how to keep it running when the heat is on. Join Matt and Justin from Island Air right here on Saturday mornings at 5 a.m. for the Island Air Hour, providing quick and effective solutions for commercial and residential air conditioning and heating systems. If you have a question about your system, you can call us right now at 239-747-1550, and we'll be glad to help. Serving Southwest Florida since 1972.
I trust Rock Solid.
I trust Rock Solid.
I trust Rock Solid.
I'm an interior designer and I trust Rock Solid.
If you're looking for just the right countertops for your home, the choice is simple. Rock Solid.
I'm a contractor and I trust Rock Solid.
I trust Rock Solid.
I trust Rock Solid.
See why homeowners and contractors choose Rock Solid for the finest countertops. Now with our newly expanded showroom, making your home improvement experience even better.
Rock Solid in the Pink Building, 2240 JNC Boulevard, Naples. Rock Solid. We don't stop at just countertops.
This story is called The Ugly Truth About Timeshares. If you think you've done your family a favor by buying a timeshare, well, you need my help. Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, founder and CEO of Wesley Financial Group. 10 years ago, I started helping folks cancel their timeshare. And the process started what's now called the timeshare cancellation industry. Timeshare is the only thing that you can buy that you can't tell me how much it's going to cost or when it's going to end. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check to fill out any amount they want for annual maintenance and assessment fees. Sounds crazy, right? Well, the crazy thing is, this never ends. Stop the insanity today. Call my office now. I guarantee if we can't cancel your timeshare, you'll pay nothing.
Were you lied to when buying a timeshare and want out? Get the facts about timeshare cancellation. Call Wesley now for your free information kit. 800-501-3939. 800-501-3939. 800-501-3939.
This is Drew Steele on 92.5 Fox News.
239-479-5592, the talk and text line streaming live. DrewSteele.com is the website. Would love for you to visit, to hang out, to watch. We do appreciate it. Trying to see some of the stories that are out. John Kerry is... coming up, we're going to talk about the Lee County School Board. I know a lot of people want to talk about that this morning, so we're going to get to that at 7:35. So that's on the way. Phil Kerpen's going to join us. We'll talk and get into detail about what's going on with the vid, the latest on COVID, and the changes with masking and vaccinations and goodies and giveaways for getting the vaccine and all that. Did you know that a Budweiser apparently even is giving you, free beer? Now through May 16th, look at Jake just peeked up. Now through May 16th, Budweiser is giving a free beer to anyone 21 and up who provides proof of vaccination at some kind of Bud-based website. You have to register, though, at another website. It's a whole big thing, but they're giving... It's true. That's CNN Business has it. It's all the goodies. Just vaccine up. That's all you have to do. Come on, everybody. So we'll get into that. John Kerry apparently got busted for doing what? What did he do? Is this true? I just want to make sure. Okay, here you go. Former Secretary of State John Kerry sold out Israel, America's top ally in the Middle East, to Iran, the world's leading state sponsor of terrorism, according to leaked audio of Iranian Foreign Minister Zarif speaking with an economist. I guess it was a London paper put it out, and then the New York Times picked it up, and he was talking about how Israel attacked Iranian interests in Syria at least 200 times, to his astonishment, Zarif's astonishment. And basically talking about how Revolutionary Guard Corps, they call the shots. The government doesn't do it. The military calls the shots. So there's John Kerry today is like, I didn't do it. Well, apparently it's on audio, so somebody did. So, of course, he's going to deny it. And it's not the first time, by the way. This isn't the first time that John Kerry, who is better than you and needs to fly private because, he's better than you when it comes to climate change and global warming or cooling. It's the warming causing the cooling or whatever it is, or the latest when it comes to we only have a couple of years left to live, or else. You remember he was on audio saying he's better than you. Yeah. Don't you remember in 2018, it was John Kerry who told The View that Trump and Pompeo need to be more worried about Paul Manafort than his meeting with the Iran's prime minister at the time? That he was coaching Iran through the JCPOA, the Iranian deal. Yeah, John Kerry's a... Well, I'll let you just fill in the blank there.
This is Daybreak. 92.5 Fox News.
Imagine replacing your old kitchen with the kitchen of your dreams. Brand new custom-made cabinet doors. Drawer fronts, hand-finished by true craftsmen. Designer hardware, new hinges, and everything installed beautifully in less than a week, start to finish. Expensive? No. To the contrary, with refacing by Cornerstone, you'll save so much, we should really talk about your master bathroom, too. Go for wow. Go for Cornerstone.
Hey, this is Papa, reporting that we're still getting a lot of calls from homeowners who were told they needed a new re-roof after Irma. Most of these folks had a few broken tiles that are obsolete. Our company has 2 warehouses filled with the older obsolete tiles that have never been used. If you think that you may not need a new re-roof, but only need to replace some obsolete tile, please call me for our free tile roof inspection. We may be able to repair and seal your roof to make it look new and beautiful, a lot cheaper than replacing the entire roof. If you call me for our free inspection, we'll place you on our proactive list, and in the event of another hurricane, you won't have to go searching for a contractor because we will automatically call you to see if you need assistance. Let me show you how we can clean and seal and protect your roof, pavers, and pool decks. On behalf of my sons, Casey, Carrie, and Cody, call us at 945-2700. That's 945-2700, area code 239-945-2700. We're open 24/7, and you can call us right now for a free tile roof inspection.
License number CCC 1326213.
The new administration has big plans for healthcare. Changes are coming that could limit your choice and make your health insurance premiums even higher. Tim Cooper at Health Plan Network recently saved a family of 4 in the Fort Myers area $600 per month. Act now. Protect yourself and your family with a superior health plan that cannot be canceled. This is a nationwide PPO plan, which allows you to pick your doctors and hospital. Start saving 30 to 60% now. If you are on Obamacare, not insured, or on COBRA, you can log into a private health plan managed by you, not the government. Call Tim Cooper, an expert with 24 years experience, at 239-368-6712. That's 239-368-6712. Online at healthplannetwork.net. That's healthplannetwork.net.
When your celebration of life is prepaid in advance, it becomes a gift from you to your family later, because no one should have to plan for a loss while they're experiencing one. Paying in advance protects your loved ones and gives you the peace of mind you deserve. Let us help you plan every detail with professionalism and compassion. We're Hodges Funeral Home at Naples Memorial Gardens. Find us at dignitymemorial.com.
Fox News, I'm Chris Foster. New, more relaxed guidance on outdoor mask wearing for coronavirus protection is expected today from the Centers for Disease Control.
Currently, the CDC recommends masks be worn in all public settings. The new outdoor mask wearing guidelines could differ for those fully vaccinated and those who are not. 37% of U.S. adults are now fully vaccinated.
Fox's Brian Yennis. The 2020 census has some states gaining and others losing seats in Congress.
Acting Census Bureau Director Ron Jarman says 7 states lost 1 seat each.
California, Illinois, Michigan, New York, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and West Virginia.
Of the 6 states that gained, Texas was the big winner, netting 2 more seats.
Fox's Gernal Scott. Colorado, Florida, Montana, North Carolina, and Oregon gain 1 more seat in the House. The census shows the slowest U.S. population growth since the 1930s, 7.4% over the last decade. America's listening to Fox News.
This break is sponsored by Cornerstone Builders. Give us the opportunity to wow you.
Wink News traffic.
Traffic is slowing from a crash at the intersection of Palm Beach Boulevard and Dusty Trail. This is to the west of 31. Now, it is not a major backup, just a little delay. Also, slowdowns beginning on Ortiz heading south of MLK Boulevard. There's a slowdown on Daniels Parkway near Gateway Boulevard. That Daniels extension is just getting packed heading out of Lehigh Acres. Also, beach commuters, now's a great time to do that. We are up to speed on the Sanibel Causeway as well as the Matanzas Pass Bridge. The Trip to the Minute traffic, I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Happy Tuesday, Southwest Florida. We are starting off once again on the cooler and drier side with most of you in the 60s. Temperatures will soar to the upper 80s and lower 90s again this afternoon, but at least with that low humidity, it won't be a terrible day to get outside. Partly cloudy sky, and our next big change doesn't come till later on this week with our next opportunity for rain. I'm Wink News Weather Authority meteorologist Brittany Van Voorhees.
Southwest Florida's place to talk about
coronavirus. It's on the police.
Everything.
Give me liberty or give me COVID-19.
92.5 Fox News.
Back in 1908, a lad named William Murphy was struck by a bolt of genius. Hi, it's Joseph Edison. His creation? A bed that folds from a closet or wall, transforming any room into a bedroom. Today, the master designers at Closet Factory are creating custom Murphy beds with more style than Murphy could have imagined, while still miraculously turning one room into two. So if you could use a little extra room, utility, and style at your house, talk to the people who do that every day at closetfactory.com.
Hey, Aaron Walker here from Naples Nissan with some good news from the factory. We've just been authorized to add all brands to the list of vehicles eligible for our trade-in offer. Yep, literally all brands qualify now. So if your 9-year-old Beamer just hit 100,000 miles, don't cry. Stop paying for expensive repairs and premium gas for that old gas-guzzling luxury brand you're driving. As long as it's a 2012 or newer with less than 120,000 miles on it, bring it to Naples Nissan to get the full original base MSRP for it so you can drive home in a brand new, fuel-efficient Nissan today. Whatever your trade-in was worth when it was brand new, even if you didn't buy it new, regardless of where you bought it from, and regardless of what brand it is, that's what we'll give you for it. Get full details at naplesnissan.com. Offers on select models with approved credit and cannot be combined.
People sometimes may wonder why they need a big law firm after their injury. Imagine you're on your way to work and then bam, your whole life changes. You're injured and now you have to fight for justice. Your opponent is not the driver of the car that hit you. It's their insurance company. When you're fighting to get what you deserve, it's go big or go home. When it comes to law, size matters. We're America's largest injury law firm, Morgan & Morgan. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
It's Rockstar Harley's Triple Zero Even. Zero cash down, zero interest, and zero payments until fall on any new Harley this week. Annual percentage rates such as 1.99% and no payments until fall on any new Harley at Rockstar Harley. Triple Zero Even. Now through Sunday.
On approved credit.
Why would someone take a chance on purchasing a frameless shower door from a big box store or an online discounter of an obscure brand, and then try and find a licensed, qualified installer to put it in, when you can deal directly with a local, family-owned business that consults, measures, manufactures, and installs their own award-winning brand of shower doors? My Shower Door is a family-owned and operated business and has the highest ratings on Angie's List and Home Advisor. Want to see more? Go to myShowerDoor.com.
This is Drew Steele on 92.5 Fox News.
All right, it's Daybreak, 92.5 Fox News. My name is Drew Steele. He's Jake the Millennial. We are here with you on this beautiful, I don't even know what day it is. Is it Tuesday? Yeah, it is Tuesday. I know that because on Thursday, we have a big event that a lot of people have been asking about. And if you would like to get tickets for Thursday's event, the plot against the president, if you don't know about this, we are pretty excited about this event that we talked about a few weeks ago, and we've recently just opened up some more tickets for you. And so at Silver Spot Mercado, the movie theater there, Silver Spot Cinema in Naples at Mercado, on Thursday, starting at 5 p.m., we are presenting the private screening of the political documentary, The Plot Against the President. You probably heard about it, based on the best-selling book by Lee Smith. And we're going to have Congressman Devin Nunes here. Also, we're going to have Kash Patel and Jack Langer and Amanda Milius, the director of the movie, all with us for the movie, and then a Q&A afterwards. Now, we had VIP tickets. We sold out of those quickly, but we did open up tickets for those that would like to see the movie and then also be able to watch the Q&A. They're limited seating. There's a limited amount of tickets, but if you would like to get your tickets right now, go to 925foxnews.com. Right there, you can get the tickets to be there Thursday, 5 p.m. at Silver Spot Cinema in Naples. And again, it'll be the private screening of the movie, The Plot Against the President. It's about the Russia collusion hoax. Devin Nunes is in the movie. Kash Patel's in the movie. They explain all of this in detail. And then afterwards, we're going to do a private Q&A where we will simulcast it so that you'll be able to watch as we are doing the Q&A. And it's going to be fascinating. I'll tell you, all the questions that you've been dying to ask, I have a ton of questions, and I can't wait. So we have a limited amount of seating. We opened up another theater for you. So if you would like to watch the movie and then see a simulcast of the Q&A right there in the theater, then by all means go to 925foxnews.com right now, and you can get your tickets. There's a limited amount, so go there right now. All right, 239-479-5592, the talk and text line, streaming live. Again, drewsteele.com is the website. Now, if you want to call, you were there last night at the Lee County School Board meeting. I would love to hear from you and get your thoughts. Many of the local media outlets had something to say about what transpired last night, and it depends on where you go. It's very interesting. The news press, the Lee County School Board weighs in on LGBTQ issues. Here's some public, again, over one-page flyer. Again, it was just a one-page flyer. What's the big deal? The big deal is something that is very fundamental to politics these days. It's very fundamental to the politics that are going on here in Southwest Florida and are going on across the country, and it's this. How much do you know about your elected politicians and what they're doing when you're not looking? And that's a big part of this issue, where they want to make a big deal that, look, it was already in the code of conduct. What's the problem here? The meeting was there with both sides being represented. There were current and former Lee County school students that were there. There were LGBTQ plus students. There were church organizations, people whose voices were heard. A lot of people were saying things like the former and current Lee County students that were there that showed up. It would be interesting to ask to see if they were all from here in Southwest Florida. There were some people that were suggesting that did they come from out of the area, because it seemed like they were a little more than usual. The news press bringing up the crowd of 350 people who showed up to the Lee County School Board last night to speak for and against the one-page flyer. That's what it's all about, everybody. It's just a silly one-page flyer. What's the big deal? They do it in other places, the news press. Many schools put up posters of the flyer around campus. And staff reported similar one-page documents. All kinds of places. Brevard, Broward, Miami-Dade, Monroe, Palm Beach. We're not them. Doesn't matter. Well, they do it in other places. Well, we're not them. And again, fundamentally, there were things that were said that I'm going to play some audio in case you missed it that are critical to the conversation. And it's how much we don't know. We still don't know. And I don't even know if we're going to get answers moving into the future. And I'm not kidding. We're talking about school board members that are like, do you have any idea what we're going to be doing moving forward? Who approved it? I don't know. What are we going to do moving forward? I don't know. Got any answers to any of this stuff? We'll get back to you. There was a lot of that. And if you don't believe me, I'll play the audio coming up. Is this Matt Caldwell, who's on the road right now, who was there last night? Matt Caldwell was among the 350 plus. How are you, Matt?
I'm doing all right. Just heading north to Tallahassee.
So what was your take last night on everything that transpired?
Well, it's sad to say, but you're exactly right. It is clear that a majority of this board doesn't know what's going on. I mean, the fact that we had board members continue to insist that adopting this poster in the Code of Conduct did not mean it's the policy of the district, did not mean that it's going to be distributed without permission. I mean, it just boggled the mind that there was even this line of questioning from the board. Who gave you permission to put up the poster? I mean, if you're an employee of the district and your board has adopted a Code of Conduct, doesn't it seem fairly obvious that you can display any of the things that are in the 100-plus page document that your students have signed up for, that you signed up for? It was a stunning display by the majority of the board that they don't even understand the fundamental responsibility that they have. They are not in charge of this district. They defer to an administrative staff that repeatedly misrepresented what the poster said, pretending that it doesn't represent a policy when it is a fundamental part of their policy, and misrepresenting the state of the law. And really, it was obvious to everyone in the room that the legal interpretation was an embarrassment in light of the legislature just this week passing the parental rights bill that DeSantis is expected to sign and directly undermines what they've done this last year.
Yeah, and if you're wondering what exactly transpired, I'm going to play some audio in case you missed it. If you're listening, you weren't there, one of the 350 plus that showed up, parents who are concerned not only about the policies, but about what they know and don't know. Here is Melissa Giovanelli, who was asking, who approved the poster? We find out that in elementary schools, we've got kids, and that's how you discovered this, Matt. This was the outrage that you had. Elementary schools, where we should be telling kids about these issues. There's posters on the wall. Whose decision was it? And I want you to listen to this from the Lee County School Board.
Who actually approved the poster to be put into the classrooms throughout the district? Because I hear they're even in elementary schools. So I don't know who approved that. So I was just curious.
I don't know the answer to that. The posters were a resource that was provided as support for our non-discrimination policy 1.27.
Speak up, please.
The poster was provided as a resource for support of our non-discrimination policy 1.27.
But shouldn't that have gone to as a board approval?
It did.
I don't know the answer to that.
I don't know the answer to that. I don't know who approved it, and I don't know whether or not the school board should have approved it. Isn't that enough? That's just part of what I'm getting ready to play, Matt.
Yeah, well, I think that gets to the heart of it, and the board, as I admonished them in my comments, needs to get serious about their responsibility. You saw last night, I think, an awareness for the first time in a very long time from at least some of the members that this administration is completely out of control. They're not accountable to the board whatsoever. I mean, when you ask a question, who approved that, and there's nobody there that can answer that, well, that's your answer, that nobody is in charge and that they are not looking to the board for the leadership. They're simply looking for the board to be their patsy, to sign off on whatever they want to try to put forward. And mostly it's just the lazy inertia of a bureaucracy, listlessly moving any kind of strategy based on a direction.
Yeah, we're losing you, Matt. So give us a call right back, Matt. Give us a call right back. And to his point, here we go once again. Here's another thing. How many people knew about this? There's got to be a list, right? I mean, we know the people that got mailed the fact that there was going to be this this poster there, right? And Melissa Giovanelli was asking once again, and then you listen to the answer from the soon-to-be former superintendent, Greg Atkins. Here you go.
I sent an email a couple weeks ago after this last meeting was regarding last year in August or September, the code of conduct was digitally sent to people, and I was concerned on we should know how many people. I've spoken to so many people that I was unaware that it was there, that they did not even sign off on it. Do we have the number of how many parents and students received it and actually signed off that they did read that?
My understanding is staff is working on getting you that number.
Oh.
So I don't have it in front of me now.
Yeah. Hey, Matt, the staff's working on it. We'll get back to you on that. Yeah, we don't have the numbers. We don't know, but we'll get back to you. That's a lot of what we heard last night, and it feels like a lot of what we're going to hear moving into the future, which we're afraid of and many people are worried about, which is this will go away. This will soon be gone. The news cycle will change. Everybody will forget. And then we can go back to campaigning and getting out there and doing things without anybody knowing because nobody's going to show up in mass anymore and they're not going to care. And it's almost, it's like, don't worry, we'll get back to you on it. That's not a good enough answer anymore. You need to have the answers.
Well, and that one is so easy to have predicted. This is a question that came up a month ago when this controversy first erupted, which was most parents didn't know about it. Most teachers didn't know about it. So the logical conclusion, if I am a leader in this district, I'm going to reflect and look at myself in the mirror and say, what did I fail to do in terms of a policy, regardless of whether the policy that was adopted is right, and you and I both know that it was wrong. But if your own teachers and students and parents don't know it was the policy, then you failed as a leadership team to communicate that, don't you immediately go look for that kind of statistic? Don't you immediately ask your subordinates to put together an accounting of how many people signed off on the code of conduct, an accounting of how this was communicated with the teachers? And 3 weeks later, for your answer to be, well, I don't know, we don't have that answer yet, that means that you're not taking this seriously. That means that you are ignoring the people that are showing up and talking about this, and you're not taking your responsibility as a leader seriously, and it's an insult to the public, and it's an insult to the board.
Yeah.
The board should be insulted that they are treated this way, that their leadership doesn't think that much of them to even anticipate the most obvious questions that need to be answered.
Or it's a covert way of just saying, listen, you all don't know what you're talking about. Everybody's showing up here. You're just a bunch of bigots and obias and everything else, and you don't know what you're doing. And quite honestly, we want this policy in place. Quite honestly, we want this to be what's going on in the district. And you don't know what you're doing, and we'll get back to you, and then you'll just go away, and we'll continue to do this because maybe that's part of it as well. They're fine with it. They're fine with the policy. They're fine with the way they're treating the stakeholders. Matt, I gotta get that right. The stakeholders. So that's another thing that people worry about as well. Is that what you? Not once. I would love for somebody to have walked up to the mic last night and said, with their 1 minute of time, just say, show of hands, how many of you are for these policies? That's it.
Well,
why not?
And that did happen, actually. Terry Miller came up and spoke, and he asked for a show of hands, and it was clear.
I mean the school board members. I'm not talking about the people in the room, because Terry Miller did, and the people in the room did recognize what he was saying, and in mass were talking about how they didn't like it. I'm talking about the school board members, just leaving it up to them to show us. Let's get them on the record.
Well, and that is ultimately what this question boils down to. Do you support not only the policy, but they really need to get a grip on what is going on in this district? This is only the tip of the iceberg. This issue has boiled over for those of us that care about the education of our kids and has gotten a whole new group of voters and taxpayers and parents involved. But it is a symptom of the larger disease. And if you have an administration that either doesn't have the competence to anticipate basic questions to be prepared to answer to the board, or as you posit, and maybe also likely, has so little respect for the board that they think that the solution here is just to outlast the controversy. I mean, you as a board, you have to be absolutely outraged at the way that you have been put in a closet and told to shut up, essentially. I mean, they're being treated like mushrooms by and large, and that is how this has happened here. And the only people between now and the election in 2022 for the next 12 to 18 months, the only hope that our students have and that the parents have are that a majority of this district recognize what the administration is doing to them, how they're being used as patsies for an administration that's doing whatever it wants, regardless of what the board thinks or does.
Well, in 12 to 18 months, we can finish that off. We could change that for good. And that's an important part of an aspect of what's going on. All right, Matt, we've got to run. I appreciate the call, and appreciate you being there last night as well. Thanks so much.
Absolutely, Drew. Thank you.
All right, see you. All right, 239-479-5592. All right, you ready to go? Because I have a $50 gift certificate to Mel's Diner for you right now for caller number 9 at 239-479-5592. 5 great locations, Mel's Diner around Southwest Florida. My family loves Mel's Diner. Love it, love it, love it. And if you would like a $50 gift certificate to Mel's Diner, call right now because it's time to play Drew's College of Political Knowledge. 4 questions on politics. The more you get right, the higher the degree. We will see if you earn a PhD, so we'll play. You'll win number 9 right now. Coming up next on Daybreak 92.5 Fox News, right all along with traffic, there's Sabrina Katz.
We're at a 5-mile backup on 75 starting from MLK Boulevard towards Daniels, slammed from a crash that is just near Daniels as you're heading southbound on I-75. So to avoid this, you have Ortiz to 6 Mile or Tree Line if you're just south of Colonial. That's your up-to-the-minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Happy Tuesday, Southwest Florida. We are starting off on the cooler and drier side once again with temps in the 60s. A far cry from this afternoon as we reach near 90 degrees for most of you. Low humidity still under a partly cloudy sky. I'm with news with our authority meteorologist, Brittany Van Voorhees.
This is Drew Steele on 92.5 Fox News.
The Diamond District has the largest selection of GIA certified diamonds at the most competitive prices in the world. Jason and Todd have partnered with De Beers in Canada and Africa, and they've traveled to Israel, Antwerp, and India to select the most beautiful diamonds. Visit the Diamond District today for your best diamond buying experience.
Is foot pain making your life miserable? The Good Feet store specializes in foot pain relief. Call 552-FEET or visit us at the Good Feet store in Naples or our newest location in Fort Myers. Or stop in for a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
Hey, it's Drew Steele. Well, the VIP tickets for the Naples viewing of The Plot Against the President sold out in record time, but we're releasing extra tickets just for you to join us. These tickets include a showing of the movie The Plot Against the President, and you'll be able to enjoy the Q&A session with Congressman Devin Nunes, Kash Patel, and others via simulcast. Tickets are just $30 and go very fast, so get them now. Check out 925foxnews.com for your details and to purchase tickets right now. All presented by Alfie Townsend and Advantage Retirement Group, PlantationShuttersForYou.com, and 925 Fox News, right? All along.
2, 4, 6. It's the $8,000 trade-in event. $8,000. For 4 days only, Sutherland Nissan Fort Myers and Sutherland Nissan Cape Coral are giving you $8,000 more than book value for your trade. Thursday through Sunday, only Florida's #1 Nissan dealer can give you more money than your stimulus and tax refund combined. Bring in any trade, regardless of year, make, or model. Whether it's a loan, lease, or paid off. How can you possibly pass this opportunity up? Nobody pays you $8,000 more than anything is worth. Nobody, except Sutherland Nissan. Plus, our in-store basketball hoop is set up. Make a half-court shot and you win. Rip up the contract because your car is on the house. The $8,000 trade-in event absolutely ends 7 p.m. Sunday. Rush to Sutherland Nissan Fort Myers and the all-new Sutherland Nissan Cape Coral, your used car megastore. Online at flnissan.com. If you don't shop Sutherland, you'll pay too much.
See dealer for details.
The real estate market is really hot right now, but for how long? I'm Anthony Gomes from GomesMovesHomes.com. You've heard Drew Steele talk about me on his show. If you're thinking about selling your home for a premium price, now is the time. You can sell over market value without doing repairs, letting strangers in your home, and you pick the closing date. Learn how for free. No pressure, no obligation. Go to GomesMovesHomes.com. GomesMovesHomes.com.
People say they don't like going to the dentist, but what they mean is they don't like the discomfort. Dr. Alan Rembos at SmilesByRembos.com understands. Dr. Rembos uses computerized anesthetic delivery, resulting in 50% fewer injections. And Dr. Rembos places and restores implants, eliminating delays, additional costs, and no running around. New patients and emergencies usually seen within 24 hours. Cosmetic treatment often completed in 1 to 2 weeks. Read the reviews at SmilesByRembos.com. Offices in Marco, Naples, Sanibel, and Fort Myers.
Drew's College of Political Knowledge is presented by France Eye Care. Better vision, better life.
Attention, class. It's time for Drew's College of Political Knowledge.
It's Drew's College.
All right, let's go to Ron. Ron's in beautiful Golden Gate. Good morning there, Ron.
Good morning, Drew. How you doing today?
You know, I'm well. It's Drew's College of Political Knowledge. 4 questions on politics. The more you get right, the higher the degree. We'll see if you earn a PhD. Your associate's degree question starts right now, sir. Hey, do you remember in 2005, we had a president and a vice president? I need the name of both of them. In 2005, who were the president and the vice president?
Let's see. That'd be Mondale and Clinton?
No, that would be Bush and Cheney. 2005.
Bush and Cheney. Oh, yeah, hunting partners.
Hunting partners. I see what you did there. Jake got a kick out of that. All right. Let's see if you get an associate's degree on this question. Who is the last GOP nominee to lose a presidential election? The last GOP nominee to lose a presidential election.
That would have been a guy who lost to Obama. That would have been McCain?
You're thinking too far back. Unfortunately, it was Donald Trump, the former president of the United States. He was the last GOP nominee.
Yeah, he won.
Anyway, moving on. Well, there's that. Oh, there's news on that too. Yeah, I know. All right. Well, let's see if we get an associates on this question. Let's see. This president was nicknamed Ike. Served from 1953 to 1961. He put a putting green on the White House lawn as well. You know who that was?
Wasn't that Eisenhower?
It is. It was. That is correct.
Yay.
All right, a bachelor's degree for this very question. Here we go. The Emancipation Proclamation. What exactly did that do?
That helped free the slaves.
It did.
Into the Civil War.
It did, sir. All right. Well, congratulations, Ron. You got yourself a bachelor's degree today on Drew's College. You also got a $50 gift card to visit one of the 5 fantastic locations of Mel's Diners. So some great food, $50 gift card for you. So stay there, okay?
All right. Yeah, you have a good day. I'll go enjoy some of that great prime rib.
Yes, that would be a good thing. There you go. All right, Ron, you stay right there. All right, coming up, Phil Kerpen's going to join us. We're going to talk a little bit about the latest. I heard that there's some changes now, the Biden changes on masking, not masking. I don't know, the vid. What's the latest? Get to that coming up.
This is Daybreak, 92.5 Fox News.
NCH Heart Institute is home to the most experienced and most dedicated team of physicians and nurses in Southwest Florida. Over the past 30 years, NCH Heart Institute has mastered the quality, the care, and the holistic patient experience that can only be found within a nationally ranked heart institute. Caring for a patient, mind, heart, and body. That's the cornerstone of our critical care team, which ranks in the top 2% of all hospitals in America.
NCH Heart Institute, at the heart of what matters most.
Hi, doctor.
So how are you feeling?
With Millennium Physician Group's telehealth service, MPG Connect, be seen by your Millennium healthcare provider in the comfort of your home from your computer, smartphone, or tablet. So good to see you. Call your Millennium doctor's office or 844-CALL-MPG to request a virtual visit with the care team who knows you best.
I'll talk to you soon.
Millennium's telehealth service, MPG Connect. Your doctor, your device, your connection to a healthier life.
It's Rockstar Harley's pre-owned red tag sale this week. Hundreds of Harleys under the big tent, tagged with liquidation pricing. Save $2,000, $4,000, even $6,000 at Rockstar Harley's pre-owned red tag sale. Good credit, bad credit, no problem. Rockstar Harley is accepting 100% of all credit applications. Repo's trucked in, and the owner says 50 used bikes must go this week. Time's a ticking, Pete. Better bring your A game, bud. You don't need perfect credit, don't need a cash down payment. Rockstar Harley-Davidson is the #1 volume Harley-Davidson dealer group in the world. Pre-owned red tag sale ends this Sunday.
Some Americans are going to get a raise. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News, and they'll get it by presidential order. Fox's Tanya J. Powers has details live.
Dave, that executive order set to be signed by President Biden today would increase the minimum wage for federal contractors to $15 an hour, and it would affect hundreds of thousands of workers. Currently, those workers are getting $10.95 an hour. This equals about a 37% pay hike. It'll be rolled out gradually. All federal agencies would need to include the higher wage in new contract offerings by January 30th of next year. That new wage would also automatically go up as inflation increases. Dave.
Tony, the president may also today update us on masks. It's expected the CDC will modify guidance on needing to wear them outdoors, especially if you're vaccinated. And so far, about 141 million Americans have had at least one dose, though in a new Fox poll, 22% say they will not get the COVID vaccine. There have been more protests in Elizabeth City, North Carolina.
My dad got executed just by trying to save his own life. You know, he was not in the officer was not in no harm of him at all.
He and other relatives of Andrew Brown Jr. got to privately watch 20 seconds of body cam footage from last week's shooting. They want all of it made public.
Now, the video does not reveal Brown's rap sheet, which Fox News has learned is over 180 pages long, dates back to 1988. Brown was a known drug dealer and had allegedly been selling to an undercover informant for over a year.
Fox's Jackie Ibanez. The president's climate envoy John Kerry's under scrutiny over leaked recordings from Iran's foreign minister.
Zarif says that former Secretary of State Kerry disclosed covert Israeli operations to Iran. It's not clear when Kerry passed this intelligence on, but In the tapes, Zarif himself says how surprised he was that Kerry would reveal such sensitive information.
Fox's Benjamin Hall. Kerry denies it, tweeting, "This never happened." America's listening to Fox News.
92.5 WFSX Estero. It's 8 o'clock on Southwest Florida's news and talk station, 92.5 Fox News. Wink News traffic.
We're at a 5-mile backup on 75 starting from MLK Boulevard towards Daniels, slammed from a crash. That is just near Daniels as you're heading southbound on I-75. So to avoid this, you have Ortiz to 6 Mile or Tree Line if you're just south of Colonial. That's your up-to-the-minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Happy Tuesday, Southwest Florida. We are starting off once again on the cooler and drier side with most of you in the 60s. Temperatures will soar to the upper 80s and lower 90s again this afternoon. But at least with that low humidity, it won't be a terrible day to get outside. Partly cloudy sky, and our next big change doesn't come till later on this week with our next opportunity for rain. I'm Wink News Weather Authority meteorologist Brittany Van Voorhees.
From smartphones and TVs to desktops, laptops, and tablets.
Every audio device in this hemisphere.
All you have to do is tell your smart device to play 92.5 Fox News.
Hi, this is Earl Ron. I'm the president of New South Window Solutions. What I like people to understand about our company is what's unique about us. We manufacture, we install, we guarantee. We go out of our way to make it easy. If you're thinking about buying new windows, consider New South. And don't even think about hiring a middleman until you see what our factory can do for you. New South windows are made in Florida, for Florida homes, by Florida workers.
Going on now, save 35% off factory direct windows and doors. Call 1-800-NEW-WINDOWS.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Unless you want more of your hard-earned dollars going to the government, you need to pay attention to what I'm about to say. Now, the president's tax cuts, they may be on the way out, and it's not just your income taxes that could go up. That's why you should call my friend Alfie Townsend and his team at Advantage Retirement Group. Call now, 239-747-1163.
Investment advisory services offered through Townsend Advisory Group, LLC, a registered investment advisor in Florida.
You probably know Lusk, Dray Sites, and Talisano for car accidents and other personal injury matters. But did you know they have attorneys who specialize in many other areas of the law? Whether you're in need of creating or updating your will and testament, or need advice about divorce or child custody, they have an attorney for you. And unlike the all-too-familiar competitors, at Lusk, Dray Sites, and Talisano, you'll be meeting directly with the attorney handling your matter, not some coordinator or case manager looking to increase their numbers. Lusk, Dray Sites, and Talisano. They've been serving you for over 35 years. Have a family law question? Are you seeking a divorce or have child custody issues you need resolved? Do you need assistance with dividing property? At Lusk, Dray Sites, and Talisano, their attorneys can walk you through this difficult process as the needed advocate to protect your legal rights. They've been here for you in the past, they're here today, and will be here for you tomorrow. LDTlaw.com. Offices Cape Coral, Fort Myers, Naples.
Brad McDaniel here, the second generation of Kenmark Air. Kenmark Air is celebrating 25 years professional, honest, and top-rated service in Southwest Florida. To celebrate, Kenmark Air has its own branded air conditioning system, the K. McDaniel Series, named after our father, Ken McDaniel. The K. McDaniel Series is a completely coated outside system with storm protection, and for a limited time, we're offering 25% off qualifying high-efficient K. McDaniel systems. Call today for a free in-home estimate, 239-437-7040, and online at kenmarkair.com. License number CAC 057163.
Things seem to get more expensive as the years go by. Take groceries. Prices are up by 36%, and keeping up with your health, that's up too by 54%. But did you know at FPL what you pay for energy has gone down 10% over the last 15 years? And they're not cutting corners either. They're investing in energy that's not just the most reliable or the cleanest, but also the most affordable. See how we're keeping your bill lower than most states at fpl.com/value.
From 92.5 Fox News.
It's the stuff Southwest Florida is talking about.
It's Daybreak. Now, here's the guy at the epicenter of what's important to those of us who live in Southwest Florida. Drew Steele.
Well, good morning, Southwest Florida. So glad you are joining us today. Thank you for making this show the show you start your day with. We always do appreciate it. 239-479-5592, the talk and text line. We stream live if you want to watch at drewsteele.com. The website, Steele has 3 E's. Don't forget about that. saw an op-ed, COVID and the Illusion of Control, written by Phil Kerpen. He is doing some fantastic work, not only checking out all things COVID, and he's the president of American Commitment. He has been doing some great work, like I mentioned, as I follow him on Twitter. It is great to watch and to keep an eye on what he is putting out there. And also a syndicated columnist. And also, from what I understand, one of the great things about Phil Kerpen is that he's a Mets fan, which is a great thing as a Met fan myself. And we have him on the show this morning on Daybreak, 92.5 Fox News. It's Drew Steele. How are you, sir?
Hey, Drew, I'm good. I was locked out of Twitter for a few days because somebody, I guess, tried to hack my account. And, I'm such an addict. It was like I didn't even know what to do. I mean, it was like Albert Almora made that catch, and I couldn't even tweet about it. It was horrible.
You couldn't tweet about it. Yeah, well, listen, I can spend a half an hour with you just talking about the ups and downs of the Mets season already. But
we've already had a few. Yeah, I was going to say we got swept in Chicago and it was all over.
Yeah.
Then we got two shutouts in New York. We're back.
And by the way, let me just say this as somebody who was born and raised in New York, been here in Florida for 36 years now. I mean, I've been here a long time, but born and raised in New York. Let me just explain something quickly before.
You should have abandoned. If you'd abandoned our Mets for the Marlins, you'd have two World Series.
Yeah, no, I don't do that. No, I'm still as a. I know we're totally.
If I'd abandoned our Mets for the Nationals, I'd have a World Series. It's really, we're like, we make bad decisions, Mets fans. I don't know.
And Phil could appreciate these two things growing up. I am a Mets, Giants, Knicks, Islander fan. And everybody knows that if you grow up in New York, you have your choices. You have at least two of each. So you always make those choices. And there's always that battle between which is your team. And being here, I'm still loyal to my New York teams. And also as someone who follows the Mets and maybe even New York sports, you realize that today the Mets are the greatest team to ever be put out on the field. Tomorrow they stink and they need to be run out of town, every single one.
How great is it to have the Yankees in last place too?
Yeah. There's that. Yeah, some people might actually enjoy that. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
There's
right. Hey, all the people who don't love the Yankees hate them. So you know how that works.
Yeah. All right.
Anyway,
that's all the time we have, Phil. Thank you so much.
All right. Sorry.
No worries. So a couple of things. So I wanted to get to this article, and there are a couple of audio clips that I do want to play, and I promise you that they are relevant to the conversation because, as we have been watching the vid, we've been watching what's been happening. We're concerned about, like you talk about, COVID and the illusion of control. Ordering the virus around doesn't work, makes fools of politicians, and harms all involved. And I might even make the case of how some are being harmed. And I'm just going to play this short little 9-second clip. And then I want you to comment on this, and I'll explain after I play this. Take a listen to this.
Dr. Fauci, give us vaccines. Help all the people who have been quarantined.
Now, I can't play any more of that because that came out of New York, the Vaccinate New York event just the other day where somebody was singing about Dr. Fauci and the things that he can allow us to do. I mean, it's cult-like, Phil. That's one of the worries is that people have become, there's been this almost like this cult of Fauci and whatever he says goes, like there is that kind of control over us right now.
Well, he's become he's become sort of the hero to the left in this country, but he's become this deeply divisive partisan figure. There was a YouGov poll that had 85% of Democrats trust Anthony Fauci and 14% of Republicans. And by the way, I don't even know who the 14 are. I think they overestimated that number somehow. But, so you've got this weird situation where you got, liberal public officials who think, oh, great, we'll put Fauci out there and then everyone will be persuaded to that. And meanwhile, like every Republican despises this guy, and so they keep pushing him out, and it's just turning people off even more. But the liberals think he's God, so it's really a weird situation, just a massive division.
Yeah, and one of the other things I noticed right out of the gate as I'm looking at the article here in the American Spectator, I see right away you go 3 paragraphs down, and I can't believe it's April of 2021. And still, you have to put in a paragraph and explain to people about the infection of COVID and what it is and is not. That's another part of this, right? Is how we still, even after all this time, have to explain the ones that are vulnerable. Who is vulnerable? Who is not? The information from the CDC. That's another part of this, is it not?
Well, we've done a very, very poor job of communicating the risk, and there's like a 1 to 5,000 time difference in risk between young people and old people with this.
Yeah.
Literally thousands of fold difference in risk. This is an extremely, extremely dangerous infection for older people and people with severe health compromise of various types, but mostly for the older people. And, it's over 80% of the deaths are over age 65. And, if you're over age 65 or 70 and you get this, it's like a 5% chance that you die, which is pretty high. If you're under age 20, it's like a 0.002% chance, which is, lower than like the risk of dying in a car accident on your way to work or school. And so, we really failed to communicate that. And, we've got this weird situation where people in their 20s who are at almost zero risk if they do get the virus are like the most frightened people. They're the ones who were scared to leave their house in a lot of situations, over the last year. And, if we had a clear view of who was at risk and we had clear policies to protect those people, we would have been able to save a lot more lives than we did at a much, much lower cost without disrupting all of society, without doing all of the ineffectual and unnecessary things that impose so much hardship on top of the virus harms and really didn't stop any of the virus harms. And of course, now with the vaccine, by far the most important thing is getting seniors vaccinated, because that's where, almost all of the serious, illness and death is, and we've done a really good job of that as a country. We're over, I think, 81 or 82% of seniors now have had at least one vaccination, and but the media, instead of covering that and what a remarkable job we've done and why the disease is basically going away in terms of being a major killer as a result of that, they want to talk about the percentage of the whole population, which is essentially a meaningless number. And so we've done a very poor job, I think, of communicating, who's at risk and who needs protection, and that's why. We've imposed disastrous things like school closures and business closures. And I mean, you're fortunate in Florida, believe me. It probably seems like you've done a lot of dumb things with your local governments there and things like that. But compared to most places, you've been the most. You've done really well.
Yeah. No, and we certainly have talked a lot about what is and isn't happening here in the state of Florida, and how it is being broadcast around the nation about the evil Ron DeSantis. And of course, we understand there's political implications in what he's doing and what he's been doing here specifically in the state as compared to other places like New York that we all know the stories. But you look at some of what is even being discussed now, and the Biden administration is even talking about new rules and new things that we might do when it comes to masking, and even some companies that are doing interesting things when it comes to vaccinations. You have baseball, like the Dodgers and other California teams saying, okay, if you're vaccinated, you get to go into this space. So you have a nice little space here. Or companies that are saying, hey, I got some freebies for you. If you vaccinate, I'll give you some free stuff. Or those that would say, listen, the only way you're even going to come to work is vaccination. These quote unquote vaccination passports, which may not be a passport out of the country, but maybe a passport to your own profession. And I wonder how much that is all about control as well. There's well-meaning intentions behind it, but there also is control behind that too, no?
Well, the good news is we have some highly effective vaccines that do prevent symptomatic illness, even prevent non-symptomatic infections and transmission. And I think that if you had said a year ago we're going to develop vaccines within a year that are 90% plus effective, people would have said you're crazy. There's no way. There's no chance. And they did say that.
Yeah, they did exactly.
By the way, I mean they said it was impossible. So we've got these highly effective vaccines. The issue is, I think, that a lot of younger people are looking at the vaccines, they're looking at the virus, and they're saying, well, I know with the virus, if I have it, I'll probably just be sick for a few days. I'll be fine, just based on my health status and risk and so forth. The vaccine looks great. It looks like it'll work, but it's a new technology, and anytime you're doing something new, there are going to be unknown risks. And, I just take my chance with the virus because for my age and health profile, it's not really something to be scared of. And, that's not the way I looked at it. I did get the vaccine. I mean, I'm in my 40s. It's not, you could go either way, I guess. But if somebody makes the decision that that's the way they look at the risk assessment. And even though the vaccine looks pretty good, there are unknowns when you do a new technology. I mean, that's not my decision, but you guys, as a society, you have to respect that decision. You can't try to browbeat people and say you got to do this, especially because it is a new technology. Let's say we find something out in 10 years and then you're going to be browbeating people into it. They're going to have to deal with whatever the consequence is of that. So my view is this. The right way to do it is not to browbeat people or to require it as a condition of entrance or a condition of employment or anything like that. The right way to do it is to present the information, let people make their own decisions, and basically say, look, once everyone who wants it has it, everything's 100% normal. Right. And you make the decision. If you'd rather take your risk, you take your chances, take the risk of the virus instead of taking whatever risk there might be with the vaccine, that's your decision. And everyone makes their own decision, and, we act like free people, and that's it, and we move on. That's how I'd like to approach it.
Right. Well, that's I think a lot of liberty-loving, freedom-loving people would like to do that, especially when there is evidence that would show that there are certain age groups that are not at risk as much as others to the point where they can make that decision. But then you have the argument, of course, which is, the vaccinated not wanting to be in a room with an unvaccinated individual. And
weird if the vaccine works,
Right. Well, that's right. And that's the argument, right? Does it work or not? So what are you worried about if you're in the room with somebody who's not vaccinated? The problem will be amongst the unvaccinated. And in that case, that was their decision. And in some age groups, it's a decision that risk-wise is not a bad decision necessarily for that individual, especially when you talk about little kids. We're talking about vaccinating those that are 16, 17 years old. But we already know, like you put in the article.
I really think for kids, you're actually better off getting the virus. And I'll tell you why I think that. And, I'll probably get attacked for saying this. But, there's a lot of evidence that this is kind of the way new common cold coronaviruses appear. They appear, and at the beginning, they're very nasty, and they kill a lot of people. And, we saw this with the 1889, what was called the Russian flu. We now think it was actually a coronavirus, the coronavirus OC43, which is one of the common cold coronaviruses. And what happens is, all the young people get exposed to the new thing. It doesn't kill them because they're young and they have strong immune systems. It's a relatively minor infection. But then if you're exposed every few years for the rest of your life, it never is a nasty thing to you because, by the time you're in an age group where it would be, you've got very strong immune recognition and immune system protection against that. And I think that process is sort of the way that a novel coronavirus sort of degrades into just, sort of a normal inconvenience, kind of a common cold. And, I think that for children, it's probably better for them to have that normal, natural process because their risk is so low of having a bad outcome than to start down the path of a vaccine where, okay, let's say the vaccine's perfect and there are no, unknown consequences, there are no downsides or side effects or whatever. Even if it's perfect, you want to have a shot every year for the rest of your life, or do you want to have that normal, natural immune progression that we've had in the past with new coronaviruses? I think the second choice is probably better for that. And so I really hope we don't go down the path of, making it mandatory for schools or camps or anything like that and really pressing it on kids, because I think in the long term, we're actually going to get a better public health outcome if we don't do that.
Yeah, and ultimately something that you brought up in the article, the American Spectator, Phil Kerpen is joining us on Daybreak 92.5 Fox News talking about COVID and the illusion of control. And I would encourage you to go and read this article and what we're talking about here. And one of the things you brought up was that it is frightening to face a virus and admit there's little we can do to stop it. But then on the other side of that is what you talk about, that illusion of control is seductive. And you have those that all of a sudden take over the situation in ways that are even more detrimental than the ones that could be there. But we don't even have the opportunity, Phil, to even talk about it. It's the politics and how everything is dripping with politics these days. You can't escape it, and how polarizing it is at a moment where we need to not be. This should have been the one thing we weren't polarized on, and yet we still are.
It's really unfortunate that we've wasted so much time and energy, and we've caused so much economic damage and educational and social emotional damage and polarizing politics over all of these lockdowns and school closures and business closures and masks and all this stuff that just doesn't make any difference. It just doesn't work anyway, and we just imposed all of these additional harms on top of the virus harms. And the thing is, now it's a year later, and we actually have things that do work. Now we have the monoclonal antibody treatments, which are extremely effective. If somebody does get the virus and they're over age 65 or in another high-risk category, you can go get an IV put in, and they'll give you the monoclonal antibody just like President Trump got, and it's like a $2,000 treatment, but it's free. The government pays for it. I mean, free, taxpayer-funded, whatever you want to think about it. But you go get that. That reduces your hospitalization risk 70 to 85%. That's available in all 50 states now. So medicine is now available. You don't need to rely on sort of witch doctor stuff. We have real doctor stuff. And of course, as a preventative, we now have, those vaccines as well, which we've done a very good job of getting to the high-risk groups. And so instead of focusing on our successes, which have really been on the medical side, we've been obsessed with these government control measures, which accomplish essentially nothing and just divide us and cause economic harm. And unfortunately, you got a lot of people who say, even though we have effective treatments and we have vaccines, they still want to order masks and they still want to restrict children and they still want to do this, that. They won't let go of that stuff. And so we've got to continue fighting this stuff, unfortunately.
Yeah. Phil Kerpen joining us on Daybreak 92.5 Fox News. I would encourage you to go to the American Spectator and check out this article more. President of American Commitment, keeping an eye on all of this, and certainly we do appreciate it. And oh, by the way, Jacob deGrom is the greatest pitcher of our generation. I just threw that out there.
Well, is there any doubt?
Because he doesn't get any support. That's the problem. You always got to hold your breath.
His win-loss record's great. The guy's going to go in the Hall of Fame with like 120 wins or something.
Yeah.
It's like crazy.
Yeah. Good stuff. All right. See, we end on a positive note, Phil. That's what we do here on Daybreak. We end on a positive all the time. Now, granted, it's just the two of us that may be the ones that are ending this on the positive. I don't know how many Mets fans are out there, but we hope each and every day that they'll come around. All right. We appreciate you.
All right, buddy.
All the best. Thanks so much.
Have a good one. Bye.
All right. 239-479-5592, the talk and text line, streaming live, drewsteele.com. That's the website. Anytime you want to watch, we do appreciate it. Information for you coming up on how you can get tickets for our event on Thursday. A lot of people said, is there any way that you can open up some tickets for the event, the Plot Against the President, the movie that we will be screening, the private screening on Thursday at Silver Spot Cinema at the Mercado in Naples. We do have some tickets that we'll make you aware of coming up in case you missed out on them. That'll be coming up in just a minute. It's Daybreak 92.5 Fox News, right all along.
This is 92.5 Fox News. You don't have to feel distant. Come join the conversation.
I am mad at everything going on.
This is 92.5 Fox News. Right all along.
Where do designers store their clients' furniture when doing an estate home remodel? Rice's Moving and Transport in Naples, with over 10,000 square feet of air-conditioned storage space. Designers use Rice's Moving and Transport for one reason: trust. They know Rice's Moving team will pad wrap and inspect all articles carefully, then securely store them. Contractors use Rice's during a remodel to store customers' personal items too. Upon completion, everything is then returned to your home, completely unpacked and carefully reassembled. Another important point to consider when selecting a mover is this: only a handful of moving companies actually follow all the laws. Many moving companies simply pay employees in cash. This creates an issue for you as they are not insured. If there's an accident, you're responsible. So if you're planning a whole home or condo remodel or need help moving and storing your treasured furniture and valuables, trust Rice's Moving and Transport, fully licensed and insured for your peace of mind. Rice'sMoving.net, moving you into the future.
With the Diamond District, you get the best of both worlds. Jason and Todd are wholesale diamond brokers selling to the public and jewelry stores across the country at wholesale prices. The Diamond District is also a retail store that you can visit every day and see the largest selection of GIA and Forevermark loose certified diamonds.
For professional roofing, the name you need to know is D.R. Martineau.
Dan Martineau from D.R. Martineau Roofing. For 30 years, we have been offering the best warranties in the industry. Remember, D.R. Martineau Roofing. Integrity, knowledge, service. Just Google DRM Roofing.
License number CCC 1326954.
For professional roofing, the name you need to know is D.R. Martineau.
Smart homeowners know that proper maintenance of their home's AC can save a bundle in the long run. Trust our comfort specialists at 1 Hour Air Conditioning and Heating to keep your AC running strong. A proactive tune-up can actually help your AC run more efficiently and save you money on your electric bill. Call 855-1-HOUR or visit onehourair.com.
Always on time or you don't pay a dime. Always on time or you don't pay a dime.
Independently owned and operated, licensed in their respective state or county.
If you were lied to when buying a timeshare and want out, you need my help. Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, CEO and founder of Wesley Financial Group. 10 years ago, I started the timeshare cancellation industry by exposing the ugly truth about timeshare and giving folks the straight facts. I've been fighting the timeshare giants ever since, so no one knows this industry better than me and my team. Today, we have 383 employees and have saved our clients an average of $65,000 in lifetime payments. Imagine putting those timeshare dollars back in your pocket. If you were told at a timeshare presentation that this was available today and today only, that timeshare was a great investment, or your maintenance fees will never go up, call my office now. I guarantee if we take you as a client, we will cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call now for your free information kit. 800-501-3939. 800-501-3939. 800-501-3939.
This is Drew Steele on 92.5 Fox News.
All right, it's Daybreak 92.5 Fox News. I like this. So Condé Nast has like a cooking section. They're not going to do any beef recipes because they want to encourage more sustainable cooking. So no more. So if we don't tell you how to cook beef, you'll never figure it out for yourself, and you'll have to figure out something else to do. Is that just me? That seems awfully pompous. If you had a pound of ground beef in your refrigerator, I'm pretty confident you could figure out multitudes of ways to cook it. And I don't need a magazine to tell me how to do it. But apparently, you do. I had no idea.
This is Daybreak. 92.5 Fox News.
Hey, it's Drew Steele. Well, the VIP tickets for the Naples viewing of The Plot Against the President sold out in record time. But we're releasing extra tickets just for you to join us. These tickets include a showing of the movie The Plot Against the President, and you'll be able to enjoy the Q&A session with Congressman Devin Nunes, Kash Patel, and others via simulcast. Tickets are just $30 and go very fast, so get them now. Check out 925foxnews.com for your details and to purchase tickets right now. All presented by Alfie Townsend and Advantage Retirement Group, PlantationShuttersForYou.com, and 925 Fox News, right? All along.
Being involved in a legal dispute can leave you feeling like you've lost control. I'm Eli Anajar from the law offices of Anajar and Levine. Understanding the law and the rules of evidence can mean the difference between winning or losing your case. If you are involved in a legal dispute and are not sure of your options, call the law offices of Anajar and Levine at 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733 for a free consultation. And take back control of your life.
Offices Fort Myers and Naples.
When the expected comes calling, bounce forward with Comcast Business, the network that can divide gig speeds to the most businesses. And bounce forward with the flexibility to update your bandwidth in just a few clicks. Be fast, be flexible, be ready for what's next. Go to ComcastBusiness.com to learn more.
Does market turbulence and economic turmoil have you worried about your retirement nest egg? I'm Alfie Townsend. Learn how to navigate these uncertain times. Tune in to Saving the Investor radio show every Saturday at 9 a.m. or visit us at savingtheinvestor.com.
Dr. Shane Walker here at Thrive Chiropractic and host of the Wellness Hour on 92.5 Fox News for nearly 20 years. And let's face it, many of us are really stressed right now, and that is creating an increase in the number of folks who are dealing with neck pain, headaches, tension across the upper mid-back, anxiety and nervousness. And if you haven't experienced the release of tension that a chiropractic adjustment can produce within your nervous system, go to thrivenaples.com. That's Thrive, Thrive, Naples.com for a special offer. That's thrivenaples.com.
I'm Harvey Massey. Think about this for a moment. Pest control involves applying pesticides inside your home, whether needed or not. At Massey Services, we just don't do that. We prevent pests from getting inside your home so we won't have to control them later. Why settle for pest control when you can trust Massey's pest prevention? It's guaranteed or your money back. Massey Services. Expect more and get it.
Want to make your home a more comfortable place but don't think you can afford a top brand heating and cooling system? Well, Carrier has the right solutions for every budget. When you turn to your Carrier expert, they'll show you our full lineup of best-in-class home comfort systems and help you pick the one that best fits into your home budget. Because in this economy, who couldn't use a little more comfort? Carrier. Turn to the experts.
Visit Accurate Comfort Services online at AccurateComfortServices.com today. License number CMC 057023.
Nothing runs like a... I need something I can depend on. I need a Kubota.
At Florida Coast Equipment, we have equipment you can depend on. We have the best deals in town for Kubota tractors, mowers, utility vehicles, and Kubota construction equipment. Our family has been Florida's premier Kubota dealership for over 30 years. Whether you're buying, renting, or simply need your Kubota service, come on over to Florida Coast Equipment in Naples. Equipment you can depend on at a price you'll love. Florida Coast Equipment, we've got you covered.
This update is presented by Stevie Tomato's Sports Page in Fort Myers, Cape Coral, and Naples.
Wink News Traffic.
The crash on 75 is delaying traffic significantly. We're at 6 miles of a backup. If you're heading south of Luckett Road, do not head to the interstate. If you have Ortiz or if you're south of Colonial, stick to Treeline. That's the quickest option. A crash at 82 in Daniels is slowing traffic at the intersection. Also, a crash reported in Lehigh at 23rd and Curtis Avenue. This is westbound towards Gunnery Road. The Trip to the Minute traffic, I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Happy Tuesday, Southwest Florida. We are starting off once again on the cooler and drier side with most of you in the 60s. Temperatures will soar to the upper 80s and lower 90s again this afternoon, but at least with that low humidity, it won't be a terrible day to get outside. Partly cloudy sky, and our next big change doesn't come till later on this week with our next opportunity for rain. I'm Wink News Weather Authority meteorologist Brittany Van Voorhees.
I won't give up the ship.
Talking about what matters.
This country is too great to throw over to communism. I love it.
92.5 Fox News.
Steven Tomatoes Sports Page. Come for the food, stay for the sports.
It's Big Al from Stevie Tomatoes Sports Page. Do you feel American pride and want to shout, God bless America? As a son of immigrants who came through Ellis Island, I stand when the national anthem plays and get emotional thinking of those who have sacrificed for America's greatness. At Stevie's, we're filled with gratitude for our great customers and the country we live in. The firemen, police, emergency service, construction workers, and those who go about each day providing the foundation for our country. We love our customers and express our gratitude with our food, service, and value. Thankful for your dedication for what you do. And to all our great customers, show your love for this great country by going to any Stevie's. Stand at the bar and say loud and clear for all to hear, God bless America, and I'll buy you a 10-ounce beer. Restrictions apply in Cape Coral, Fort Myers, and Naples. God bless America.
Steven Tomatoes Sports Page. Come for the food, stay for the sports.
You find yourself searching for a reputable air conditioning company?
Don't sweat. Call Brett.
I'm Crystal Casey with Brett Air Conditioning. For over 45 years, our motto has been, don't sweat, call Brett. We are a family-owned business with a great reputation. Whether your AC needs maintained, serviced, or replaced, we are here to serve you. So stop searching and join the Brett Air family today. You can find us online at brettairconditioning.com or call us at 239-566-3633. 239-566-3633.
If you don't love your AC company, call Brett Air right now. Find them online at brettairconditioning.com or like them on Facebook.
Don't sweat. Call Brett.
License number CAC 1819995.
Trust. It's the rock-solid foundation of Moran Wealth Management. Over 40 years ago, they began advising clients on ways to help meet their financial goals. 4 decades later, we've helped many reach their goals of providing for themselves, their families, and future generations. CEO Tom Moran has assembled an impressive team of professionals, each committed to the same core concept. Tom is recognized by Barron's as a Hall of Fame advisor. To be named a Hall of Fame advisor, the advisor has to have been ranked by Barron's consecutively for the last 10 years in any of their rankings. Let us earn your trust. Call 239-920-4440 or visit moranwm.com. Barron's rankings are based on data provided by thousands of advisors. Factors included in the rankings were assets under management, revenue produced for the firm, regulatory record, length of service, quality of practice, and client retention. Investment products and services are offered through Wells Fargo Advisors Financial Network, LLC, WFAFN, member SIPC. Moran Wealth Management is a separate entity from WFAFN.
This story is called The Ugly Truth About Timeshares. If you think you've done your family a favor by buying a timeshare, well, you need my help. Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, founder and CEO of Wesley Financial Group. 10 years ago, I started helping folks cancel their timeshare. And the process started what's now called the timeshare cancellation industry. Timeshare is the only thing that you can buy that you can't tell me how much it's going to cost or when it's going to end. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check to fill out any amount they want for annual maintenance and assessment fees. Sounds crazy, right? Well, the crazy thing is, this never ends. Stop the insanity today. Call my office now. I guarantee if we can't cancel your timeshare, you'll pay nothing.
Were you lied to when buying a timeshare and want out? Get the facts about timeshare cancellation. Call Wesley now for your free information kit. 800-501-3939. 800-501-3939. 800-501-3939.
I've been asked, did you plan on becoming the largest injury law firm in the world? And the answer is no. We set out to be focused on our clients and to have a commitment to trying cases and winning. And when you have those results at trial, you're able to settle most of your cases quickly and fairly. Hard work and client satisfaction was our plan. It worked. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
This is Drew Steele on 92.5 Fox News.
239-479-5592, the talk and text line. We stream live, drewsteele.com. That's the website. We appreciate you watching. Your calls, if you want to call right now, whatever it is you want to talk about, we love hearing from you, especially leading us up to the end of the program. Right now, the top 5 audio clips of the day. Here you go. It's the 5 at 8:35.
Drew's Top 5 at 8:35 is brought to you by Moran Wealth Management. Isn't it time to review your portfolio options? Go to moranwm.com.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Drew's 5 at 8:35.
Number 5.
In terms of cancel culture, I think it's misnamed. That's a misnomer. I think we have a consequence culture, and that consequences are finally encompassing everybody in the society, whereas they haven't been ever in this country. So I think that there are good signs.
There's good signs, everybody. That's the Reading Rainbow's LeVar Burton, who was on The View yesterday, who wanted to let everybody know, no, there's no cancel culture going on. That's not happening. It's actually consequence culture. And it's a good sign. What's happening in the culture right now? This is a good thing, everybody. So kind of like fine quality footwear is infrastructure, I guess it's not cancel culture, it's consequence culture. And the consequences are a good thing, that it's consequentially a consequence for you, consequentially speaking. Right?
Number 4.
In a shocking new report today, we are now learning that former members of the Obama administration have been caught holding back-channel communications with Iranian officials on how to defeat U.S. foreign policy under the Trump administration.
Yeah. Why am I playing a OAN news feature from 2018 about John Kerry? Well, because this is nothing new. On the heels of what we just discovered, that we found out that there was a private interview that Iranian Foreign Minister Zarif was having with an economist, and it was leaked to a London-based Persian news service that got picked up by the New York Times. Several interesting things, including the fact that John Kerry is not a friendly to the United States, apparently. So we come to find out that John Kerry sells out Israel, our top ally there, to the world, to Iran. And there are a couple of things that got out that John Kerry doing things behind. Well, I don't know if he's doing it behind the back, in front of the back, wherever it is. But the whole idea is that leaked audio. John Kerry is behind a lot of things that are not in the best interest of the United States, but certainly are in the best interest of Iran. Is that how this works? I mean, I'm just trying to understand what this is all about, because we have a history of John Kerry doing these unusual things that seem to be to the benefit of Iran. Why is that?
Number 3.
Wonder what Jet Psaki thinks about this.
I have one question about foreign policy and then another about COVID here. So the first one is, in tapes obtained by the New York Times, Iran's foreign minister says that former Secretary of State John Kerry informed him that Israel attacked Iranian interests at least 200 times. As the Secretary has shifted roles, he still continues to represent the United States on a world stage. Does the President have any comment or reaction to Kerry telling the Iranians about covert military action on the part of Israel?
We're not going to comment on leaked tapes.
We're not going to comment on it. Nothing to see here. Move along.
Number 2.
I don't know how the right got so far ahead on creating such a political connotation around the conversation about vaccine passports. But again, down here on planet Earth, just about every college that has announced a back-to-school policy for the fall has announced a policy that includes proof of vaccination.
Yeah, back to Earth, everybody. There's MSNBC, and I don't know how the right got so political when it comes to vaccines and this vaccine passport idea. I don't know how they even made this whole thing about politics. Really, you don't know. Remember the last president, the one that you always say orange man bad, the one you always went after, the one that said, hey, listen, we'll get some vaccines up by April. You're like, it's never going to happen. And then it actually happened. And how you bashed him and everything else and made COVID political since the day that it showed up on planet Earth. And then you're wondering how everything got so political. I don't know how that works either.
Number 1.
Who actually approved the poster to be put into the classrooms throughout the district? Because I hear they're even in elementary schools. So I don't know who approved that. So I was just curious.
I don't know the answer to that. The posters were a resource that was provided as support for our non-discrimination policy 1.27.
Speak up, please.
The poster was provided as a resource for support of our non-discrimination policy 1.27.
But wouldn't that shouldn't that have gone to as a board approval? It did.
I don't know the answer to that.
Yeah, I don't know the answer to that. If you're trying to get a summary of what happened last night at the Lee County School Board meeting when there was this Equality Florida document page that was included in the Code of Conduct last year, and we were told that you all voted on it and everybody knew about it and it was all out there in the open until you come to find out that nobody knew about it. And Melissa Giovanelli, who last night as a school board member asked the question, who knew about this? Who approved the poster that was up in elementary schools talking about the transgender issue to kids that maybe haven't been introduced to that because the parents haven't introduced them to that? Their responsibility, the parents, to introduce them to this issue, and nobody seems to know. But nothing to see here. Move along because we'll get right to it. Everything is just fine, okay?
Drew's 5 at 8:35.
What are we supposed to say about that? Nobody knows. Nobody knows who approved the poster. Nobody knows how many people got the email, the digital version of the Code of Conduct that they all approved that supposedly was, listen, what's the big deal? It was approved last year. This is a year-old thing. That's a problem, right? By the way, if you were there last night among the 350 plus that showed up, I'd love to hear from you, 239-479-5592. But this is a big issue here in and of itself. The issue of the of LGBTQ policy in the school district is certainly something that has to be discussed. It is important that we all discuss this, that we all talk about this, our feelings and the other side's feelings on this, and that we can all understand where everybody is coming from and this discussion on LGBTQ issues. But make no mistake about this. There's another side to this, everybody, that is so important. Again, here's a district that tells us we don't know, we're not really sure. Listen, we're going to change the policies and we'll tweak everything and everything will be fine. Don't you worry. We don't know. I'll get back to you. I'm not really sure how this all went down or how this happened, as if now it's just we're going to dismiss it. We'll never talk about it again. The news cycle will change. But again, there's another important issue here that we can't miss. And I talked about it a little yesterday, but again, it has to be emphasized, and it's this. You've got to ask the questions. You can't assume that everything is okay because somebody tells you it's okay. You can't assume that everything is fine because the district says, yeah, nothing to worry about. We're going to tweak it. Everything's going to be cool. Okay, we heard you. We heard you at the school board meeting. Don't you worry. Everything's, we're with you. Okay, no problem. You can't be afraid to ask the questions because people want you to not ask questions on a local level, on a state level, and on a national level. Before we go to phones, here's a quick example. Over the weekend, the State Department, who was questioned about Iran, and we are told that there are policies that the Trump administration put in place that were illegal, policies that were illegal. Maybe one of the reasons why John Kerry feels the right to go behind everybody's back and start telling secrets and spilling his guts about what we're doing here with covert operations militarily to the Iranians, which seems outrageous on its face, and we should all recognize that. But again, this is one of the good guys, a reporter at the State Department, who is asking the question of a State Department official, and I want you to listen to this because this is important. This is not only about local issues, national issues. This is about politics in general. Listen.
Yesterday, a senior State Department official talked about this administration's belief that the previous administration had disingenuously or improperly imposed sanctions on Iran for terrorism, ostensibly for terrorism reasons, but they were really designed to make it harder for any future administration to return to the nuclear deal. In other words, they labeled what nuclear sanctions as terrorism sanctions or human rights sanctions, things that would be exempted or that wouldn't be allowed to be done under the deal. Can you give us an example of one sanction or set of sanctions that you think fits that category?
Yeah. You're making this determination, State Department. You're saying that the sanctions on Iran are illegal. Cite one specific example, just one.
Well, your question is a very good device to seek me to an attempt to elicit some more detail on the various sanctions in the categories of sanctions. But let me make the broader point.
One example of a sanction or set of sanctions that you think was improperly or illegitimately or that the Trump administration imposed with an ulterior motive of tying this administration or any other administration's hands in returning to the deal. Just one.
I would make the point.
Yeah, and he doesn't make the point. When questioned by Matt Lee, one of the few real reporters in Washington, D.C., asking the State Department spokesperson Ned Price about this, what did Trump do that was illegal? Give me one example. Can't give one. Don't be afraid to ask the questions. Don't let infrastructure. We have crumbling roads and bridges. No, we don't. No, we don't. Show me. Where are they crumbling? Well, we got some crumbling issues over here. Okay, is it nationally? Can we just specifically look at this? Or do we have to spend $2 trillion on infrastructure crumbling that doesn't exist to the degree that you're saying it does? Nobody talks about it. It's assumed. Don't assume. And don't just take everybody's answer at face value. You ask questions. Crumbling roads and bridges. We need infrastructure. Really? Give me an example. Show me where. Really, illegal stuff being done by the Trump administration? Show me. Where? Give me one. You've got to push back. And a lot of people did. And even locally on the school board level. And Rich in Cape Coral, he was there. Rich, you went to the meeting. What did you? There were a lot of people that showed up last night. What did you witness there? What did you think?
Well, what I witnessed was people outside the building because I wasn't able to get in. They were beyond capacity. I just got to talk to some people outside. It was a peaceful demonstration, and it was interesting because a police officer came out and started talking about what would under what conditions someone would be arrested. And nobody was being rough with anybody. Nobody was being aggressive or unfriendly even. You know, there was no real...
Yeah, it was respectful. It was respectful, and it should have been, yeah.
Exactly. That's what I saw on the outside. I was unfortunately unable to get inside.
Yeah.
Because I was hoping to listen. I wasn't really going there to say I have so much to say as to get an explanation of what really went on in the first place.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to point out that there were a lot more people there than the capacity of the place to hold.
Yeah, it was packed. A lot of concerned parents, no doubt. Is this Armor? Armor's in Fort Myers?
Yes.
Armor.
How you doing, Drew?
Good.
I was at the meeting last night,
and I was very disappointed that there was not a motion made to immediately rescind the use of the poster. They're all talking about, well, we may or may not put it in next year. I mean, if there was any kind of a strong leadership, one of those board members would have immediately made a motion, and then they all would have had to vote on it, but they were all scared. There's no leaders on that whole board.
Yeah. No, I agree. I do. Unfortunately, I agree, and it's sad because this is something that you get the feeling, Armor, that what's happening is they're passively telling you that they have no problem with all of this. And they're passively telling everybody who showed up, the hundreds of parents who are concerned, the many people listening to the sound of my voice and yours right now that are concerned that, listen, your voice doesn't make a difference to us because we're going to give you a whole lot of, we'll get back to you on it, we'll look into it, we'll tweak some policies. And nobody's bold enough to stand up and say, no, something has to be done now. And they may make the case that, oh, there's nothing that can be done right now. Armor, you can't change what's already been done. You can't do anything like that. But even, and thanks for the call, the idea that you understand what we're talking about, I would have loved last night to see somebody stand up and use their 1 minute of time just to point to everybody on the board and say, where do you stand on these issues? Do you agree with these issues? And just silence, and just let them answer. Robertson Alva, and he was, were you there at the school board meeting?
Yes, sir, I was. I got there bright and early, about 4:15. Observed some things that you might be interested in.
Go ahead.
So let me back up to the meeting before that. The meeting before that, there was a Facebook post that school board staff requested support for the LGBTQ. They wanted those people to show up en masse. They sent out like this alert on Facebook just to have them show up. That was at the meeting before. Well, they showed up at this meeting. When I got there at 4:15, there was already about 10 there. And I wandered back to the room, put my stuff at the seat where I was going to sit, and I noticed they were blocking off 2 rows in the back. And they've never done that before. The other meetings I went to, they never reserved seats. And someone asked the guy, and he said, well, I don't know why. I was just told to block them off. Then I went back later, and they were reserved for students. And then we were run out of the room, out into the lobby. Normally, you walk up to a table, and you get a blue card, and you sign it, and you put it in a basket. Well, there were no blue cards. When they finally arrived with the blue cards, there was probably 20 to 30 LGBT folks there, students and Equality Florida people. And they went into the midst of those with the cards, handing them out like they knew them. It was a school board employee. Hi, you're going to speak today. You're going to speak today, handing them out one after the other. And then they put them on the table I was the only one there at that time that was on the other side. Then they put it on the table for anybody else to pick up a card and sign and put it on the thing.
Well,
it was a setup.
Yeah. Well, Robert, listen, I appreciate the call. Thanks so much for your observation. We've got to run right now. But listen, he said it was a setup. All I'm telling you is that it's hard to believe that you have a school board in Lee County that's listening to you. Just don't. Played audio examples all morning of how it feels like it. I didn't know what happened. I didn't realize. We'll get to you. We'll get back to you. We'll get to it. Don't worry. We'll handle it. As if they know that it's just going to go away and we'll stop talking about it and you'll forget. And I promise you, as long as I'm here, no, we won't forget. We'll continue to remind you, and there's an easy way to do this, and there's an election coming up, and 4 seats are up for grabs, and listen, you clean house, and next thing you know, you have a majority of people who actually listen to you and respect your point of view on the school board. Simple as that. And it could be that way for anything that's going on, whether it's state, national politics, you bet. People are listening. People are listening. All right, it's Daybreak 92.5 Fox News. Let's find out how the remainder of the forecast is shaping up with Wink News meteorologist Brittany Van Voorhees.
Happy Tuesday, Southwest Florida. We are starting off on the cooler and drier side once again with temps in the 60s. A far cry from this afternoon as we reach near 90 degrees for most of you. Low humidity still under a partly cloudy sky. I'm Wink News with Authority meteorologist Brittany Van Voorhees.
More delightful than driving a convertible Bentley while wearing mink underpants. 92.5 Fox News. Right all along.
Hi, this is Earl Ron, president of New South Window. At New South, we are determined to build the best Florida window. Energy-efficient windows that stand up to heat and hurricanes. We call it the ultimate Florida window. Factory direct and guaranteed for life. New South has installed tens of thousands of windows across the state and has been named one of the fastest growing window companies in the nation. And that is why we're New South proud.
Going on now. Save 35% off factory direct windows and doors. Visit newsouthwindow.com.
Hey, it's Drew Steele, and we've got my friend Dave Meister, owner of the Floor Meisters in Naples, on the phone. And Dave, I got to tell you, the selection of floor coverings of Floor Meisters, unbelievable, fantastic. I've seen it myself, and the choices are there. But what we really want to talk about today is this Dreamweaver line of carpets. Talk about it.
I'll tell you what, Drew, this is the hottest thing since 5 buckle overshoes. We're just selling the heck out of it. Comes in 9 different patterns, 12 colors to a pattern. It has 8 warranties, and it even includes steps. The stain warranty will take care of wine, mud, and even pet accidents. So this is perfect for Jake.
Yeah, perfect for Jake, and perfect for me, and perfect for you, too. If you haven't been to the Floor Meisters, really owe it to yourself to visit their store, see their selection of Dreamweaver carpets. It's there at 6281 Naples Boulevard, next to Costco. And whether it's carpet, tile, laminate, or hardwood flooring, they have it all. So give them a call today at 239-596-4964 or on the web at floormeisters.com.
Injuries on the job can cause you to lose control. I'm Glenn Levine from the law offices of Anajar Levine. Money is not coming in and your medical bills are piling up. Our legal team is here to help. We can help you file all your workers' compensation claims to make sure you get the proper benefits you're entitled to. If you've been injured on the job, call the law offices of Anajar Levine at 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733 for a free consultation and take back control of your life.
Office in Naples.
This is Drew Steele on 92.5 Fox News.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Unless you want more of your hard-earned dollars going to the government, you need to pay attention to what I'm about to say. Now, the president's tax cuts, they may be on the way out, and it's not just your income taxes that could go up. That's why you should call my friend Alfie Townsend and his team at Advantage Retirement Group. Call now,